All right, well, you knew it was coming here. Let me go ahead and deal with this real quick. Folks, we're living in desperate times. We are living in desperate times, and if a female is even close to a dude who can produce today, all the rules are out the window. Just forget about it. The latest in a growing number who are taking this walk on the cougar side. Here comes Draya Michelle. I guess she decided third time's the charm. She went off and got this 21-year-old dummy. Okay, now he's 22. Jalen Green. And everybody saw this coming, that she was going to waste absolutely with her streaking towards 40. 40 is right around the corner like a mugger. In 1974 Detroit. So she is sitting there and she said, I'm going to waste absolutely no time. We need to go from dating to a pregnancy in 0 time flat. And that's exactly what she did. She found a young fella. He's inexperienced. He doesn't have a lot of experience, certainly not with calculating older single moms. He was not ready. And now she's doubled down on it. Now, you can see from another article here, she's saying it's a superpower. But you go down here and then you find out here that she is already a mother to 2 sons. There's Nico, who is 21. What? Oh, same age as your boyfriend now. By a, quote, previous relationship. Nobody wants to name who that guy was. And Drew Skandrick 8, whom she shares with her fiance, retired NFL player Orlando Skandrick. Boy. So, yeah. She's known exactly how to play this. She's known exactly how to play this. She has known exactly how to do here. Now, I don't think they mean, do they mean that he is this guy with her ex-fiance rather, her ex-fiance? So this guy here already got her pregnant. And now Jalen has, quote, stepped up to go above and beyond. Now, a lot of you are asking the same question here because the bottom line is many of you were 21 years old. You're saying, Jason, how in the hell did he let this happen? How in the hell did he let this occur? Why would he let this occur? And I want to explain to you exactly how in the world he got caught in the brand new baby trap. While, by the way, she's out taking photo montages now. She wants to document all of this and try to gussy it up as much as she can. Let me explain to you, first of all, why it is this is occurring. First of all, it's occurring because the young man thought he was smart. A lot of these fellas think that if they can get an NBA contract, that's a testament to their intelligence. It is not. The other thing is he kind of thinks he's making a smart move here. He has been caught by sexual sorcery. She has been working the sexual sorcery on him. And he's gotten caught up. Now, when I was his age, I was doing the exact same thing. When I was 21 years old, my girlfriends were substantially older than me back then. Substantially older. Why is I didn't get caught up? Well, first of all, he's young. And what happened is he's probably telling himself, I want you all to understand, irony of ironies. He's probably telling himself that, well, she's an older, mature woman, so I don't have to worry about the thottery. What? All these young thoughts on the sidelines at the NBA games. Well, Jason, you don't understand. I've bypassed that. I don't have to worry about that. I've got an older, more mature female. She ain't out here in them streets like that, like these young gals are. To which you would say, well, Jason, how in the hell could he possibly think that? Well, because remember, you all have to understand his interaction with her is totally different from our interaction with her. He gets to talk to her one-on-one, and she does things with him that we don't do. So she's able to get him to stop and be quiet and just listen. And next thing you know, she's saying all these things that make her just sound so much smarter and so much more mature. And, oh, it's not like that. And if he's sitting there long enough, he's starting to believe it. Oh, well, you know, she used to be doing that there, Jason. She don't settle down, brother. She a whole lot more mature right now. We ain't got nothing to worry about. He's dismissing everything else. So everything that's happened before him, he is giving it absolutely no attention, absolutely no acknowledgement. Everything before him doesn't count. Everything with him going forward does. Do you all understand why it is that songs and phrases like, you know, what I did in my past doesn't matter? See, she would whip that line out on Jalen. She would tell him, well, what we have done in our past doesn't matter. Well, yeah, but she's saying that to a 21-year-old. What kind of past does a 21-year-old male with no kids have? Her past and his past are diametrically opposed to each other. You can't compare them. But it's easy for her to run that Jedi mind trick. Well, don't worry, Jalen. You've done some things in your past. I've done some things in my past. But what we've done in our past shouldn't count. We should just be focused on today. And if you said to yourselves that you got to be some sort of candy-coated, candy-sprinkled, chocolate-covered idiot to sit up here and go for that, you're right. So he's talking to this older female. She's been on TV. Maybe he's a little starstruck. She's getting a little long in the tooth, but she carries herself in a more ladylike way than the 21-year-old females that he meets down there at Ocean and the club. So he sees a distinction between the two, not knowing that he's meeting her representative. Not knowing that she understands that he's young, naive, and those things don't always go together. He's immature. He's not seasoned. He doesn't think critically. So just like Brittany Renner, just understand, folks, they are out here hunting for easy prey. They are out here hunting for easy prey. Easy prey. So what she's saying is, okay, here we go. I've warned you all about this when I did my single mother boot camp. It's on Patreon. She's saying, look here, I'm not going to get caught again. 2 bastard kids already. Okay, well, the next time having another one doesn't matter to her. Having a third one doesn't matter to her, but it'll make all the difference in the world to Jalen. Well, Jason, why in the world would you do this? Well, do you remember what they said about the other dude? Retired NFL player Orlando Scandrick. I've never heard of that guy. Retired NFL player Orlando Scandrick. Who did he play for? What was his salary? What was he getting? How long was he in the league? Well, all of that matters because if you're getting a baby by a fellow who was all the way papered up, that's one thing. It goes to show he would be a cowboy. All right, we're going to show that. I'm just wondering how much he was getting paid because apparently it wasn't enough for her liking. Apparently it wasn't enough for her liking because she's gone back to the well and said, hey, I want a fellow with a long-term prospect. I've warned you guys here for years and years. Females today don't give a damn about having a baby. They'll have a baby just like they pick up a pair of shoes. If the deal is inviting enough, that's it. When you have a woman who doesn't have anything going for herself, she is going to resort to desperate measures. And since she was already around major league sports and she has a bit of notoriety from being on Basketball Wives, which is crazy, she was a fiance to a football player, but she's on Basketball Wives. What? How does that? Who are the damn producers of the show? Do the producers of Basketball Wives not know the difference between the NFL and the NBA? Did they not know that? All right, fine. So the fiance of the football player was a star on Basketball Wives. Okay, well, now she's actually got a kid, or on the way to having a kid, by an actual basketball player as opposed to the football player. By the way, you got a show about wives and nobody's married. Are we using the Old Testament definition of wives? Everybody's a wife, but nobody is married. So what definition of wife are we using? It would be a whole lot better truth in advertising, just basketball hoes. Just go ahead and say that. That would be a lot better truth in advertising. I can respect the program then. He's getting into this now because he hasn't thought it through, because he's telling himself, well, you know what? She's more mature than these other chicks are. The chicks his age, he's gauging her against them, or at least he's gauging his perception of her against them. And telling himself, well, this'll work. So she's got him blinded and dazzled with that. But there's also one other thing here. Remember, he's an NBA player, so he isn't home much. He's not home like a lot of other folk would be. He's on the road. And because of that, he's not really encountering her kids. I say kids with a qualifier because, of course, her son is as old as he is. Now imagine being stepdaddy to a little dude who's the same age as you. Damn! Ain't that odd? Oh, we're well past you ain't my daddy. Russell Wilson is doing great compared to Jalen Green. We're way past you ain't my daddy. When you walk into the house with a 21-year-old, hey, hi, meet my son. This one's 8. And, hey, how you doing? I saw you on TV. Here's my other son. He's 21. Hey, you dating my mom? Think about that for a few moments. I mean, I guess Jalen got the height advantage, but imagine that one for just a minute. This one of the step kids. This fella's the same age as you. He's shaving. All right. So Jalen has probably told himself, I'm not home very much and I'm not going to be home, all like that. So it won't be a big obstacle to what I'm trying to do. So he probably telling himself, well, he can just push past the 21-year-old and, give some dap to the 8-year-old, and it ain't that big of an issue. Because she's run the game on him. Now, you fellas know what the game is. She's run that game on him. She's run that line on him. My kids have fathers. You won't be required to take care of my kids because my kids have fathers. So you don't have to worry about doing that. My kids won't be in the way because my kids have daddies. So their dads will take care of them, and you don't have to worry about that. I mean, you put all those together with a fellow who's not thinking very critically and doesn't have a bunch of life experience here. You put all that together, Next thing you know, he doesn't realize that he's in the damn house and he's the only one there. So if he's the only male there, you end up raising little Scandrick by yourself. With her sitting up here telling you, oh, you're such a good daddy. She, remember fellas, you use the word stepdaddy. The women don't use that. They just say you daddy. You talking about stepdaddy, they talking about daddy. So that's it. He was telling himself, I'm not going to be home that much. So sexual access to her will continue as it always has. I ain't got to see the kids that often. I don't have to take care of them. So, I mean, what's really that different for me? It's the 21st century. Males cannot afford to be this damn dense. If a female is okay getting pregnant by you, she's running a scam, nigga.
And deal with it, nigga.
If a female is happy and thrilled and eager to have a baby by you, and ain't worried about being married, bruh, she running an agenda. She got a scheme going. It's like a record deal. They're offering you $100,000. Well, if it's worth $100,000 to pay you, it must be worth millions for them. She wants a baby with you. Well, obviously it's worth a whole lot more than that. If she's willing to just do it raggedy, it's worth a whole lot more than that. In the chat room, he's probably sleeping with some other chicks now and thinks everything is cool because she ain't raising hell over it. He doesn't understand that he's 22 and she's 39. He don't get it. The light bulb hasn't gone off for him. He doesn't have enough life experience. He doesn't yet understand how this could be used against him or why she would. He don't get it. He doesn't get it. If you all get it and you understand, give me the baby emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's over 1,800 people in here live in just the first 15 minutes. We're discussing tonight about how it's desperate times out here. Just understand, fellas who got a bag of any size or of any appreciable amount are running in very low supply now. It's running in very low supply. And certainly a fella sitting on them M's, that's it. It is scandalous territory. The old chicks who are aging out, don't y'all see? They done did the double back. They said, man, screw this. Let me get my Predator helmet on. Start with a little laser weapon. I'm going to go bag me one. I don't care if they like it. I don't care if they don't. I don't care if you make headlines. I don't care if you make memes. Folks, this is survival sex. This is survival sex. Obviously, Mr. Orlando Scandrick didn't have the bag that she was looking for. And she's like, wait a minute, I got to go back and go get one more. And I ain't going to make it myself. I mean, let's just keep it real. How does Draya make money? I'm not dissing anybody. I'm just saying, hey, can we just be honest here for a moment? How does she make money? How exactly does Draya make money? What does she do that actually generates an appreciable income? Because the whole reason that Brittany Renner went ahead and ran the slot machines and cashed out is because, hey, she's like, I'll be damned, Drake ain't in the DMs no more. All the rappers that she used to get DMs from a decade ago when she was in her early 20s, ain't nobody answering no more. Them DMs done dried up. And anybody in the DMs is just there for the layup, but it ain't nobody there who's really trying to get caught up. Nobody who's really trying to get caught up. So when I've told you all for over a decade, Women don't take it seriously until the phone stops ringing. They don't believe that men are done until the phone stops ringing. When the phone stops ringing, panic. When the phone stops ringing, it's time to panic. And now you seeing, oh hell, they hitting the damn panic button. They're hanging out at the NBA games. And they're just like, man, if I got one chance to talk to one of these little young dummies, I'm going to run the tables. And Draya got one. No, he doesn't see it coming. No, he doesn't get it. No, he doesn't understand. Has his mama taught him anything? You can obviously see what his mama has taught him. Not very much. Not very much. His mother hasn't taught him very much of anything, and now he's out there in the world with somebody else, and she's like, well, don't worry. I'll give you that mature, feminine energy that you hadn't been seeing at home. He's like, hell, he respects that. Next thing you know, that's a wrap. By the way, folks not liking the program here tonight. I just figured I'd touch on it. So we won't hold you very long here. Folks not liking it. But Draya is got a little dumb sap here. She's got him at the beginning of his career. So she's like, hey, I ain't got to worry about injuries just yet. Not unless he pulls a Stromile Swift. I don't have to worry about that just yet. So let me go ahead and just bag him now. I don't care how raggedy it looks. I don't care how tacky it looks. I don't care about none of that. Let me go ahead and bag him now. No, there's no shame anymore. Let me tell you something. Draya is saying that the females out there who haven't sat up here and had some bastard kids under these circumstances, she's saying you the dumb ones. She's saying that you are the dumb ones. Just understand the way she's looking at it, the way Brittany Renner's looking at it. We talking about I'm talking about man killer. They're saying that you're the dumb ones. What the hell does a 39-year-old woman have in common with a 21-year-old kid? What? Explain that one to me. What in the world does a 39-year-old two-time single mom have in common with a 21-year-old? What? Tell me where they bonded. Tell me their similar life experiences. Tell me the things they have in common. What does a 39-year-old woman have in common with a damn 21-year-old kid? Other than both of them being bipedal, what else you got? Yeah, I mean, shouldn't that be awkward as hell? You sitting at the damn kitchen table with your new baby daddy who's the same age as your son. Do you realize how cutthroat and scandalous you have to be to sit up here and say, yep, I'm going for it? You know why? Because, no disrespect, Draya has taken the telescope. She has looked down lens. She's looked down field. Folks, ain't no money. There ain't no money in being Draya Michelle. There's only money in the men that Draya Michelle sleeps with. But there isn't any money in her. Not in her, there isn't. And what she's doing is acknowledging she's coming to the end of all that. She's acknowledging she's coming to the end of all that. And as I told you all before, I told you here last week, folks, listen to me. Ciara? Aisha Curry? Ashanti? Even though her mama is trying to cast aspersions upon whether or not she's pregnant yet, but I mean Ashanti, Aisha Curry, Ciara. Folks, come on now. When the money is, when these chicks are in a hitting towards 40, or God forbid you over 40, man, look here, they trying to get something that will hold them over 60. They trying to grab something that'll take them towards that 60 range. That's what they trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. So when they're getting in their late 30s and whatnot, it's like, oh, wait a minute, no. Let me go ahead and get one more for the road. One more for the road. Let me go ahead and grab one more. Just in case. I need to make sure I solidify that whole thing. Let me get one more for the road. And now Draya got that one. She's got that one, and it's like, okay, that'll hold me for another 20 years. That'll hold me till I'm almost 60. So between Jalen and between Skandrick, that'll hold me till I'm about 60. Because at 39, she already knows the phone calls to be a guest, all the stuff for basketball wives and things, and that's really falling back. The other thing is, now, getting pregnant, now this gives her a second lease on life. This gives her a second lease on life. Don't expect the big dummy to understand that. He's helped her if they want to bring her back on the show. He just helped her get a second lease on life. She now has a legitimate reason to be back on their show again. That's what he just gave her. That sounds about right. What is the benefit to her to having your baby but not having your name? Oh, she can go back to the producer of those shows and say, by the way, you might as well bring me back here. I'm pregnant with a current player's baby. I'm pregnant with one now. So you might as well go ahead and bring me on back. So she can go and negotiate a new deal. I mean, she's going to be hitting it from all corners. She getting Skandrick money. She going to be getting Jalen money. She'll go back and negotiate for basketball wives. And everybody's going to be sitting up here working. Everybody except her. She'll be just getting paid for being pregnant. You've never seen an era like this before. We are in the most expensive economic era in history. It used to be just confined to New York and Los Angeles. Now it is a feature of American society. We are in the most expensive era ever. And it's more desperate than ever. Why? Because Draya Michelle ain't trying to go back and drive no Toyota Camry. That's the bottom line. Draya Michelle ain't trying to drive a Toyota Camry. Draya Michelle is trying to live the exact same lifestyle that she's been living off of these dudes. She's trying to keep doing that. You all are used to the old, blonde, blue-eyed females, Hollywood starlets, that as they got older and have aged out of desirability, they start resorting to cutthroat things because they refuse to get a job and they refuse to support themselves. If they've been taken care of all these years, they intend to continue getting taken care of. Let me tell y'all something. When a female is able to drive a Mercedes S-Class, a Maybach, a Bentley, a G-Wagon, a Range Rover, and that's her daily driver, and she doesn't have to pay for it, let me tell you something, dude, she ain't never gonna go back to them other things. Never. Why do you think that Tiger Woods had to literally get his attorneys involved to get his girlfriend out of his house? That's why I went into withering detail about that story with you all. Tiger Woods literally had to get his attorneys involved, and they had to go trick this girl to go into the airport in Orlando. And when she got to the airport, they said, okay, you've been served. You cannot return to the house. Now that you are out, you cannot return to the house. Why do you think that was? Why do you think that happened? She's like, hey, hold on. It's too few people in here. It's too few people out here with the bag. It's just way too few. She ain't trying to go back to driving her Mazda 6. She ain't trying to do that. She's trying to make camp right where she is. This is the environment we are in today. Yes, there are more men today making six figures than there used to be. Problem, six figures ain't what it used to be. Six figures is working class in most American cities today. That's the problem. You got the six figures of yesterday is about 250,000 now. That's it. It's far too few people who qualify at that. So Draya Michelle, listen to me. Draya Michelle is not going to be okay with a Michael Kors or a Coach. She ain't trying to have the Michael Kors bag. She ain't trying to have the Coach bag. She is trying to hold on to that Louis, hold on to that Fendi, hold on to that Birkin. That's it. She's not trying to hear anything else. Nothing. In the chat room, you said, what is he doing with that old woman anyway? He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I'm not the least bit critical of him for laying up with her. Dude, go right ahead. That's what she's there for. You're doing great. Where you get stupid is when you rob yourself of the ability to get up and walk away. Tiger Woods' ex could sit up here and raise Sand and raise Cain and make things difficult, but she could not prevent him from walking away. She didn't have a ring and she didn't have a baby. So Tiger got the road mileage off of her and then returned the lease to the dealership and said, here, knock off the depreciated miles. And he returned her back to the dealership and she promptly showed why he got away from her crazy ass. The problem isn't him being with her. The problem is him putting her in the driver's seat. That's the problem. He has now given her a stake in his future. That's the problem. She now has a stake in his future. She now is entitled and has access to unearned benefits from his future. Here's the problem, folks. Here's the critical part. Here's the critical step. Here's the devastating statistic. How long has Jalen Green known this woman? Damn. There's the critical question. How long has Jalen Green known this woman? How long? How long did he know her before she got pregnant by him? That's the problem. He hasn't known this woman for years. And she's already pregnant? You can't tell me that you did any type of due diligence. None. You're giving her access to all of your career earnings. She's now got unfettered access to all your career earnings. Have you known this woman long enough to give her that type of unfettered, unrestricted access to your career earnings? You haven't known her long enough for that. We're not discussing childbirth tonight. We're discussing power dynamics. A man, especially a young man who's at the beginning of his earning, everybody around him is supposed to be warning him, and don't get none of these hoes pregnant. That's what they're supposed to be telling him. But the problem is, and I'm just going to say it just like that, when you got young dudes raised by hard-headed females They grow up to being dumb, dense, hard-headed males. That's what they grow up to be. And when that occurs, when folks start talking to you and they see that you are a hard-headed little nigga, then they just fall back. Your agent is like, let me go ahead and grab as much money as I can. Your manager is like, let me grab as much money as I can. And the females are like, let me grab as much money as I can. When they can see you a little dumb hardhead who don't listen, they just back off and say, yeah, we ain't gonna talk to him. He's not mature enough or smart enough or quick enough to prevent himself from getting done in. He's not smart enough to prevent himself from getting done in. We ain't going for it. So they just fall back. They just fall back. In the chat room, I don't know what the folks, somebody get him up to speed. Red talking about he was raised by both parents. I don't have time to stop the program right now. Can somebody get him up to speed about what that means? Go. I don't have time to stop right now. Y'all get him up to speed. So Jalen is out here freestyling right now, and he's in the feeling because that's what older women know. Older women know that when you are young, sex is new to you. And if sex is new to you, she knows she got the edge on these little young gals out here. So she got a fella whose sex is new to him, and he's willing to bet it all. He's willing to bet it all. And she got it. She got it. Now he's staring down the barrel. PJ Washington Part 2. Now here's where things get bad for Jalen, because when he ain't looking at the fact that, by the way, she done had 2 bastard kids by 2 other dudes out here. What in the world make you think you just ain't gonna be next in line? What makes you think you're not gonna be just next in line? He doesn't see it that way. He thinks that because he's in the league, that gives him an edge over everybody else. So he's completely oblivious to it and doesn't understand that we live in a day and age today where that's it. They're trying to get the bag by any means necessary. And he figures he's doing so great and so wonderful. Oh, can I go there, folks? Can I go there? Can I go ahead and say that? Am I going to have the ability to go ahead and say that? I don't want to fire up the cauldron tonight necessarily. I don't want to fire it up tonight. But I would be remiss in my duties if I did not mention one thing. You see, these little young dummies like Jalen, they hop into bed with an experienced heifer like Draya. She been around the block. Hell, she been around the league. She been around the bleachers. She jump into bed with him. She's acting like a porn star. She's making him think that he's doing fantastic and amazing things. She's got the windows rattling. He's telling himself, yeah, I'm in charge of all of this. Because he's young and he doesn't know any better. So she's introducing him to sights and sounds that he's not accustomed to, and he's telling himself he the boss. He's telling himself he's doing what. He's telling himself that he's thrilling her. He's telling himself that he's 21 years old, he got this 39-year-old, and he is just thrilling her. Boy, you should have seen her. Her face was all flushed, and I'm the man. She ain't never gonna be another nigga like me.
Alrighty then.
I'm just saying that's what they do. That's what they do. So he's telling himself, she ain't never gonna be another dude like me. Never gonna happen. He's telling himself he's just doing great. He's trying to do that August Alsina thing. We got a lot of young fellas out here getting caught up in that August Alsina thing, telling themselves that they're doing fabulous things for this middle-aged and post-menopausal women out there, telling themselves they doing wonderful things and don't understand, dude, you just getting used. She just wants a break from her husband, and when she get done with you, she going back to her husband because she is not going to sit out here and ride in your Volkswagen Golf with you. She ain't going to do that. Correction in the chat room. Not his next contract gonna be $300 million. Their next contract is gonna be $300 million. Damn. She gonna be sitting there at the table, chopping it up and divvying it up with him. Their next contract is gonna be $300 million. It's a bad spot to be in. It is a bad spot to be in here. And the young man is about to find out this life lesson up close and personal and by himself. But he's not the only one. Why did I call tonight's program Desperate Times? Why did I name it Desperate Times? Because I've been trying to warn you for years now. It is desperate times. Do you all remember the chick? Y'all remember this story that's been in the news about this chick who was at this concert for this Nigerian singer, and she leaves her boyfriend in the audience to go up on the stage and simulate sex with this Nigerian singer that she been dreaming about all these years. Do y'all see? Have you seen that story? If you all have seen that story, give me the microphone emoji in the chat room if you've seen that story. There's this chick, you heard about the story about it, and she's in love with this Nigerian singer, and oh, this is so great. She went there, her boyfriend told her, let's go to this concert. You big dummy. He said, okay, let's go to this concert. She gets there, and I'll be damned, he has the unbelievably bad luck that old boy is able to see his girl and say, hey, I can see the nigga you with kind of weak. Bring your ass up here. And she went with no hesitation. Left old boy sitting out there in the audience looking slap crazy. She ran up on that stage with no hesitation. None. And needless to say, he's been humiliated ever since. So I think he went on Kai Cenat's program and whining and complaining about it. But I'm like, okay, dude, this, all right, it is what it is. She belonged to the game. She belonged to the game. Well, let me tell you right now, fellas, that's far from being atypical. Let me explain something to you. You got this going around right now. Let me tell you right now, you didn't even have to get to Nigeria for this one. Your dude, Trey Songz, is doing meet and greets. Trey Songz is taking meet and greet to a whole nother level.
Auntie, chill.
Trey Songz is taking meet and greet with your girl to a whole new level. You thought Chris Brown was bad. Chris Brown didn't do nothing but hug your girl. Trey Songz is like, oh no, nigga, let me wreck a few marriages. Let me do that. How is it that, wait a minute now, how is it that he's sick, ma'am? Trey Songz is doing what he's supposed to be doing. Do you see how quickly the females tried to get on code with each other? He's sick. Trey Songz doing what he's supposed to do. The girls didn't say, come meet us, Trey. What the hell? You saw just how quickly she got on code with that? Oh, he's sick. What about them? Trey Songz is doing what he's supposed to be doing. They came to see him and said, hey, mind if I boonk over in front of you, Trey? So it's Trey's fault that these dudes' girls are coming and literally jump. By the way, the chick over there on the right, oh boy, looking like a psychedelic head trip. Let me tell you right now, dude, this picture right here on the screen, both of them, Pink, the Pink Panther, and the chick over there on the right. Oh man, your girl gone. Your girl gone. Dude, there's no point in you even calling her back. Your girl gone. That's it. That's a wrap. It's over. Yo, let me explain something. Trey Songz got your girl up in the R.
And deal with it, nigga.
Auntie, chill.
Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Trey Songz has got your girl up in the R. Literally. He got her feeling like a little girl. Take a look at the way she's looking at him. She's like, oh. He's got your girl up in the R. Dude, the relationship's over. The relationship is over. It's done. There's no way in the world your relationship survives this. None. It ain't gonna happen. I don't know if that's Joy Reid or Wesley Snipes from Demolition Man. I don't know what it is. What I do know is if it's female, she gone. Bruh, she gone. Everything else is going to be downhill from here. She ain't never going to have a chance to be with Trey Songz. And every other nigga after this is going to be a downgrade, including the fella she with now. That's it. That's a wrap. It's over. It's done. Dude, your chick is through. There's no reason to you might as well go ahead and send your goodbye note tonight and wrap it up because the relationship is over. When Trey Songz got your broad up in the air like a hot air balloon, you're done. You're done. She had one chance to meet and greet Trey Songz, and she said, I'm going for the gold. If I can just have this for just one night, if I can just have this one time for one night, I'm throwing caution to the wind. I tried to tell y'all about these chicks with glasses. I trying to tell you about these chicks with glasses. You telling yourself, well, don't worry, the little shy, nerdy chicks with glasses, please. In the 21st century, glasses means little awkward body count. All that means a little awkward body count. Take a look at them tats on the legs. She know what she doing there. That's it. Dude, whoever the little square little college guy is dating her, that's a wrap for you, bro. That's a wrap for you. Y'all thought Usher was the only one you had to worry about. Y'all thought you had to worry about just getting ushered. Now you have to worry about getting betrayed. What? Now you got to worry about getting betrayed. Yeah, it was bad enough when you could have gotten ushered. Now you're getting betrayed. All right. Dude, do you see the way your girl is holding Trey's hands? Don't you see that? She's like, oh, straight to my Instagram. Don't you see that? She's like, hey, we booed up. They didn't just go there and stand by him and give him a handshake. She's like, oh, we booed up. That is it. And you think she's going to go back to your apartment and everything's going to be fine? Okay. All right. Well, I guess Trey couldn't get this one up in the air.
Auntie, chill.
I don't blame Trey. Let's just pretend we flying. Put your arms out to your sides, baby. Let's just pretend you in the air. Let's pretend I got you up in the air. Let's do that. Let's just make believe we got you in the air flying, because I'll be done threw out my back. How the hell am I supposed to do tomorrow night's show from a wheelchair? No. Just here, put your arms out. You know that's what she went for, right? Mo's like, hey, you picked up the other girl. You picked up the other one. Well, she different. How's she different? By about 125 pounds? My name is Trey Songz, not Lee Haney. Damn, my name is Trey Songz, not Ronnie Coleman. I'm Trey Songz, not Luke Cage. Yeah, she got me mistaken for Luke Cage up in there. No, baby, I sing about putting you in there. I didn't know it was about to turn to the tough man competition. What the hell? And she cheesing with the tattoos on the leg too? Oh man, tattoos on the leg? What is going on, y'all? Tattoos on the leg. Tattoos on the leg. Well, she said, screw it. I'm going for it. Hell, you damn near can't see Trey behind her. So Trey got to stand to the side. He's like, oh, well, you can see. At least I'm taller than she is. But other than that, it's like, Trey. Folks would have thought this was just a poster of Trey. It's like, we behind it. Yeah, we about to be in there. Oh, yeah, then she got the fishnets on. Too. Oh, boy. Oh, she got the fishnets on and it looks like a damn chessboard on here. It's like, it don't even look like fishnets properly. It's like, oh, them nets are screaming. All right. My point is here, what I'm saying is, fellas, if you think Jalen Green the only one, and these are just the ones they put out there and whatnot, come on now. You know how this goes. Yo chick is gonna be up in the R if she can be. She gonna be up there. While she telling you she would never do something like that. These are desperate times, man. Fellas who got the bag right and the swag right, they ain't hurting for nothing. I'm not talking about celebrities. I'm talking about if you're a paid lawyer, if you're a paid doctor. I ain't talking about some little struggling fella out there. If you actually paid, you're a paid lawyer, you're a paid doctor, you're a paid social media influencer, you're a paid professional, man, you're a paid politician. Dude, come on now. It's on and going. This is what it is. We out here. We're out here in the wild now. We're out here in the wild. It is desperate times. These females today, that's it. They only talk that strong, independent bull crap on the internet. In the real world, it's Calgon, take me away.
Auntie, chill.
Yo chick is like, hey, look here. If an opportunity presents itself, I'm going for it. You think all these women are single? Is that what you think? You think all of them are single? You think all of them ain't got no man? You think that? Come on now. In this day and age, anywhere and everywhere, they getting in where they fit in. I'm just trying to warn you guys, they getting in where they fit in now. Across America, not just Baltimore, please. And if you think all these women are from Baltimore, no, these chicks follow Trey around. They follow Trey around. They follow him around. But he's not the only one. Come on, you guys take a look at your damn timelines. These chicks are still flipping out over Drake. They still flipping out over Drake. They don't give a damn about the Italian porn star. They don't give a damn about the kids. Yo chick is still flipping over Drake, man. You know why? Because she wants to know what it's like to drive a Bentley before she dies. She wants to know what it's like to get an authentic Chanel bag before she dies. She wants to know what that feels like. That is female culture today, not American female culture today. Guys, do yourselves a favor or do yourselves a disservice, one or the other. Many of you will hate me after tonight after I say this, but to every male within the sound of my voice, whether you are married or whether you are single, do yourself one service, one time. I want you to go get your woman's cell phone. Get her cell phone. Don't go through the text messages. You might not want to see that. What I want you to do is I want you to go to her Instagram and go take a look at what she is subscribed to and following on her Instagram. No, go bypass the text messages. Go take a look and see what your woman is following and subscribed to on Instagram. Go and check that out. Go and see that. I want you to understand what you'll see there. Go and check that out. Go and check out her YouTube. Go and see what she subscribed to. Go and check out her Facebook. See what she watches. Go and check out her Reddit. Go see the things. Now, more importantly, if she got TikTok, go check that out too. More importantly, take a look at the things on the timeline that Instagram and TikTok suggest to her, because that's a very good indicator of the kind of things that she watches. And what I'm telling you is if you see handbags, you see expensive shoes, you see G-Wagons, you see mansions, you see red carpet treatment, if you see all of that, it's showing you what she's on. That's what I'm telling you. It's showing you what she's about. It don't have to be another man. What I'm saying is if you go onto her social media and you see another lifestyle, that's the thing I want you to get. If you go on her social media and you see another lifestyle, that's the thing I want you to be aware of. If you see a whole different lifestyle, something totally different, take a look at what your woman actually likes, and then take a look at the life she's living with you. Every female in here will be scared to death to confirm this, but it's true. You all social media, your men are looking in the wrong places, and you know he is. Your men are all looking in the wrong places, and you all know that they are. Tonight is the first night that most of these guys listening to me heard that as a suggestion. What they're doing is going through your DMs. They want to go through your text messages. They want to go through your DMs. What I'm telling them is you need to do a psychoanalysis on your female. Check out what she likes to watch on social media, the group she's a member of. She's showing you what she wants. Even without talking to another human being, without talking to another man, without any messages being exchanged, take a look and see if the lifestyle that she is pursuing, the things that she has an interest in, are just way out of your league. That's something I want you to start watching out for. Look for those indicators, the kind of things she wants. When you take a look at that timeline, what is it that TikTok has selected for her? What is it that Instagram has selected for her? What is it that YouTube has selected for her based off of her previous watching habits? You know those things are pinpoint accurate. And yet, she's going to tell you she's not interested in that. And yet, next thing you know, you're seeing a bunch of movie stars, a bunch of thoughts. They're shaking their asses. They're driving expensive cars. They're living in expensive neighborhoods. They're going on expensive trips. All these Fancy clubs you never heard of, fancy restaurants you never heard of, fancy villas you never heard of, fancy resorts you never heard of, destinations you never heard of. And yet there it all is on her timeline. And my thing is, by the way, you can do that right in front of her. You ain't even got to hide it. Just do it right in front of her. Although I don't necessarily suggest that. I don't necessarily suggest you do that. But go and take a look at that and see what it is that she is interested in. And then come back and tell me how firm your grip is. Go and check out what your chick really do and then tell me how firm your grip is. A lot of you fellas in here, I told you about this years ago right here on The Business. They don't talk to any of this about you here about the red pill. Maybe it's time for you to pick up the black book. Fellas, you need to go through your woman's phone and check out her songs. Take a look at the music your woman got on her phone. She might be singing one type of music in front of you. Take a look on that phone and see what she listens to. Yeah, some of the more mature stuff she talk about might be what she sings in front of you. Go look at that whole playlist she has on her phone. Take a look at her whole iTunes. And see if that matches up with the woman you think you got. See if that matches up with her. You sitting here watching, oh, she got some Al Green, and she got some Michael Jackson, and she got some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh, here come R. Kelly, here come Trey Songz, here come Chris Brown. Here they come Diddy bopping around the corner at you. Fellas are watching for the wrong damn things. They're watching for the wrong things. I'm letting y'all know some of the stuff you really need to look for because you get to Trey Songz meet and greet after you've been a big fan of Trey Songz music. They didn't just sit up here and listen to one Trey Songz or go to a concert on a lark. They big fans of the music. Hey, bruh, your broad is up in the R. You could have seen this coming. Bruh, you could have seen this coming. If you had taken one look through her iTunes, you could have seen this was coming. Tell me how in the world you gonna be able to compete with that. I know a lot of fellas right now do not want to hear this broadcast. You don't want to hear that suggestion. For a lot of you fellas here, you might want to just tuck that in your back pocket and just remember it and never act on it, because if you go through your chick's phone, you gonna see some things. What I'm saying is you're going to see her wish list. You're going to see her wish list, and then you need to start asking yourself if the life you are leading with her is compatible with her desired wish list. If it is, that's one thing. But if you take a look around and realize it's not, well, that's another. You might look up and realize, I'll be damned. My wish list of things and what I do and everything, wow, it ain't nothing like what she shows. Fellas, I gotta tell y'all something right now. Can you men think of one single piece of clothing that is common among men? A common piece of clothing or accessory that costs $5,000 or $10,000. Your daughters, to those of you who have daughters, I want you to understand your daughters are not being exposed to just go get you the My Little Pony purse. Man, if your daughter's got Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok, your daughters at 5 and 6 years old, they're like, damn, a Barbie doll, get me a Chanel bag. Your daughters at 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 years old. Men don't have $5,000 and $10,000 pieces of clothing and accessory as a regular part of your wardrobe. These chicks want a Gucci, a Chanel, a Fendi as a part of their normal everyday wardrobe, and they're being exposed to it by the time they're adolescents. They already know. I mean, if your daughter is listening to Cardi B, she's like, a Chanel is slumming. I want a Birkin. Fellas, you talking about a damn Rolex. Meanwhile, Beyonce and Cardi have introduced your daughters to Richard Mille. We way beyond Rolex at that point. And what I'm saying is that if your daughter was introduced to Chanel when she was 12, 13 years old, and now she's 23 or 26 years old, you realize she's been bucking for a Chanel now for over a decade? God help you if she's 33. She's been waiting on that thing now for 20 years. She hasn't let that go. She hasn't let that go. She hasn't let that go. That's why every time she sees one of these chicks get over your daughter, yes, I'm referring to your daughter. Your daughter is talking about, you go, girl. Go get that Dooney and Burke. You go, girl. Go get that Chanel. You go, girl. Go get that Louis. You go. That's where it comes from. And so by the time your daughter has had an opportunity to get of age herself, she's looking around, she's looking at the fellas around her, she sees an Xbox, she sees a manga collection, she sees an anime collection, she sees an overweight loser, she sits up here and sees, this ain't gonna happen. Where Trey Songz at? What? If I ever get in a room alone with Trey Songz, if I ever get in a room alone with an NBA player, if I ever get in a room alone with a basketball player, that Bentley, that Birkin is mine. That's it. Who in here doubts that it's that serious? Let me see in the chat room. Who doubts it's that serious? For those of you who think it's that serious, give me the green check mark emoji. For those of you who doubt it's really that serious, give me the red X. In the chat room, if you think it's really that serious today with the women, give me the green check mark emoji. But if you say, Jason, it ain't really that serious, give me the red X. Go ahead and give that to me. I want to see who thinks it's not that serious. I want to see who thinks it's not really like that. Hell, I'd really like to see who thinks it's not their daughter. Jason, that's everybody else's daughter. That ain't my daughter. Oh, what's your daughter do? Well, she's in college right now. Oh, does she wear glasses? Does your daughter wear glasses? Does she wear glasses and listen to Hot 97? Does she wear glasses and listen to Hot 97? If she does, I think I know where your daughter at. You know, she at the Trey Songz concert trying to figure out how to get knocked down. I think I know where your daughter's at. You know, I don't know if you want me to lay these negative vibes on you, but I think I know where she at. You might want to listen a little bit better. No, fellas, you've entered desperate times today. They pulled out all the stops. These women have their dream houses, their dream cars, their dream handbags, their dream wardrobe, and ain't none of them trying to move off of this. None of them. They all want the same thing. They all want the same thing. They are all trying to do the exact same thing. So that's where you end up at today. This is where you are. It's not moving, fellas. You are in the middle of desperate times. I did my program here the other day because I wanted you all to understand what we're looking at. I did my last program because I wanted you to understand about BBLs and broke. The point I was trying to make on that program is, hey, wake up, dudes. These chicks are trying to get to Miami Beach by any means necessary. They're trying to get to Martha's Vineyard by any means necessary. They're trying to get to Aspen. They're trying to get to Sugarland. They're trying to get to Dubai. They're trying to get there by any means necessary. And they don't want to wait. They're pulling out all the stops. They don't want to wait. Is anything goes. Anything. And I'm just the messenger letting you know this is the era that we live in right now. Because there are simply too few men who are willing to drop that off. Look, female nature is not going to change. They want it all. They want it now, and they don't want to pay for it. Female nature is not going to change. Okay, now that we've gotten that cleared up, what are you going to do to accept that and understand that? Because this is the environment that you're in, like it or not. This is the environment that you are in, like it or not. And if they can't get a Jalen Green, and if they can't get a Trey Songz, they can't sit up here and trap them fellas. And you might do. It just depends. Because Jalen Green is a young prospect. Jalen Green is a young prospect, but just understand they see most of us that way. So it's like, okay, well, compared to the others, I guess you'll do because you haven't seen where she's been or how it worked out or how it didn't work out. So compared to the others, you just might do. You just might do. You might be telling yourself that your job or your profession is not significant enough. You might be wrong about that. You could very well be wrong about that. Your job or your profession, it might patch together enough holes to make that happen. It might patch together enough holes to make that happen. It just might do that. You might actually shock yourself there to find out that, by the way, you could qualify. You might make just enough for some scummy scalawag to say, okay, well, let's lock him down until something better comes along. After all, she doesn't pay any penalty for it. It doesn't cost her anything. You're the one paying the freight. It doesn't cost her anything. Not a thing. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. And the number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. This is The Biz. And the telephone line's now open. I'm also dropping the link to Zoom in the chat room there. Please remember that we do give priority to Zoom. Just make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. But we do give priority to Zoom. Also here, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Venmo. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that there. To my man, Evan and Jean. All right, been a minute since we've seen Jean. I think he done got his money back together. We appreciate seeing you here again, brother. Thank you very much for checking in with us tonight. Either that or he got some ex-NBA wife chasing him around. Jean guy like that, so he might have some ex-NBA wife or whatever chasing him around. He's like, I'm testifying, Jason. It's rough out here. It's rough out here. Yeah, I mean, look, Draya Michelle's got no shame. You know why? Because she's like, hey, I'll be damned if I'm going to be one of these 50-year-old chicks out here trying to get a 8-figure nigga. I'll be damned if I'm going to be one of them. And she just said, screw it. You can laugh at me. You can mock me. You can insult me. What I did ain't illegal. It may be immoral. It may stink to high heaven, but it ain't illegal, so let it ride. She doesn't care about the peers. She doesn't care about peer pressure. She doesn't care about social judgment. She's like, look, I'm looking at, she's 39 years old. She's concerned about what 50 gonna look like. That's what she's staring down the barrel of 50. And she's saying, yeah, as long as I can get this little nigga over this finish line, I'll win. She's got him halfway there. Now she's going to start applying the pressure for him to go ahead and marry her. Then she's going to stick in the game with that for 3 or 4 years and then divorce him. And then that, unless he divorces her first, but if it's up to her, she'll stick in there for 3 or 4 years. That's it. She'll take him to a state like California where she can clean his ass out. And that'll be the end of that. She'll use the Ciara strategy. She'll take him out somewhere. She'll use his money. She will use his money to go into some business venture. And then when she leaves, she gets to take the whole damn business with her. She'll use his money to put in for a business venture. And if it succeeds, then she'll say, okay, I don't need you anymore. I'll take the business and I'm gone. It's a cold-blooded game, man. It's a cold-blooded game. Let me go ahead and get over here in the Zoom. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Digga Dan on Zoom here. All right, Brother Dan, what's on your mind? Oh, we got to give Dan a moment here with that newfangled technology. Why is this nigga looking like Keanu Reeves from The Watcher? Wake up, Dan.
You can hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, cool. My bad about that. I had to call in. I had to touch on this because this need to be talked about, man. I remember when I was 21 and I dealt with some women like that too. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is I wasn't giving them my last name. I'm damn sure ain't putting the baby in her. And I knew not to bring up around the women in my family because I already knew how that was going to turn out. So I kind of dealt with older chicks who had it together, you know, like they was like into real estate or something like that, or I could get some information out of them. Most mainly getting some out of them that raised my status, as you say. But never going to get one pregnant behind no motherfucker that got more than one kid. And and what I see is, because I got a 21-year-old brother right now. You know what I'm saying? If he was in that situation, I'd be the first nigga to tell him, like, look, don't marry that. Don't let him manipulate you. And you do not get that pregnant. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, don't try to move in with none of that shit either. I see certain dudes make that mistake too, trying to move in with the chick.
Don't move in with her and do not let her move in with you.
Yeah. And
you thinking you moving in some live-in sex, and what you're really doing is creating a legal problem. It's one thing if you're broke and you ain't got nothing. That's one thing. It's another thing. Let me go ahead and say this tonight. I will condone you living with a woman so long as you have a place of your own. Fellas, let me go ahead and add a new rule there. Fellas, you can live with a woman just so long as you got a place of your own and she don't live with you. So you can stay at her place, whatever you want to do. You could do that so long as you have a place and an address of your own that she doesn't live at. So, fellas, let me go ahead and amend that rule here tonight. We in the dark arts. Yes, I will condone you living with a woman just so long as that's not your only address. If that's the case, have at it. Because then you can just say, if she act a fool or whatever else, grab your hat and your coat and you can leave. Knock yourself out.
That's facts. And another thing, by him 21 and getting multi-millions like that, I think I'm a firm believer that I think that us when we was young, we supposed to, you know what I'm saying, build everything from scratch. Now, fortunately, I never touched $1 million in my life. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no way in hell I would have made this decision like that. Ain't no way in hell. Like if I would have knew him personally or watch him grow up or something like that, or you and my family member, I'm gonna be honest with you. I will be the first nigga. This is why some of my family members don't like me now. See, I'll be the first nigga to tell you, listen, don't do it. Don't go get down that rabbit hole. Don't get that pregnant. Listen, I know you trying to explore your sexual option. You trying to you know what I'm saying, do your thing. It is what it is. I was 21 before too. But I wasn't immature at 21. Now, I might do some other things at 21. You know what I'm saying? But never that. That's something here's
what happens to a lot of these dudes, though, Dan. They're starved for affection. They're starved for softness and femininity. So Depending on the environment they come from. If mama wasn't really like that and the females around them ain't really like that, they meet a female who really turns the charm on. And he's like, I'll be damned. She's soft and feminine. She smiles. She got white teeth. You know, she's got expensive perfumes and stuff. And he gets exposed to that. I mean, now he's sprung because if he's not used to that, oh, dude, that's it. He's spellbound.
I forgot about that part, about the infection, because another thing where I have noticed, you know what I'm saying, when I'm at, you know, my everyday life, I notice a lot of the single moms now, a lot of the parents now, even, and I'm going to tell you something, even the grandparents, we don't have the same grandparents like we used to have. Now, fortunately, my grandmama was born in 1928, and my other grandmother, she's, you know, she was young too, but at the same time, she old and outdated, but you got a lot of grandmothers now that's in their 50s. Some of them even 35, 36. They not giving the sons or the grandsons or the nephew that what you describe. I don't want to, you know, I
mean, there's not nurturing going on there. Right. You know, they're not girly. I mean, I just got to keep it $1.50 here. Dan,
that's what I was talking
Dan,
about. So,
you from the Chi, and I give it up to the females in Chicago. Females in the Chicago are 100. Whatever it is, they gonna tell you, but they rough as hell around the edges. Now, I respect their honesty. Women from Chicago are the single most blunt, brutally honest women I have ever met anywhere on this planet. I ain't seen nothing like Chicago. So it's hard to find a female who lies to you in Chicago. They just gonna be up in your face, whatever it is. I didn't say they ain't scandalous, but as far as one, just if she wants something, whatever she wants, she just gonna come out the gap with it. Unless, of course, we got the scheme up on you. That's a different point. But for the most part, you don't really see a whole lot of that. But what I'm saying is that they also leave the femininity at the door too. There's the other side of it. So if you're just not used to that, brother, I mean, a man gets starved for that. You know, if you're just around masculine energy all the time, you're getting masculine energy from the men. Damn, you're getting masculine energy from the women. You meet something here that likes to wear a pair of heels, and it's just like, oh boy, you like a thirsty man in the desert. Like, I'll be damned, she wears some heels. She got some calves. She wears pink. I don't see her underwear. Oh, ain't no tattoos on her. You kind of sprung.
And look, the older women, man, see, up here we call it the thought trap. So if you over the age of 35, well, I'll be 32. So like if a chick grew up in the 2000s, most of the women, I'm gonna just have to, and this is another thing I gotta keep 100 with you up here. Most of the women who grew up in the early 2000s, all of them got tattoos on the thought tramp. You know what the thought tramp is? That's a tattoo on close to their ass crack, on their lower back.
Yeah, now the tramp stamp.
So let me introduce you to a new term. I call it the thought tattoos. Now the women have tattoos on their ass cheeks or on their upper thigh. That's the new tramp stamp. I call it the thought tattoo because that's the term we use now, stocks. You know what I'm saying? Instead of bust downs. So that's just what it is. So like you say, if a chick is smiling or even though she may be scared, fucker too, but she come with the women, you know, like, hey, she ain't like the rest of them like my age. Damn, she mature. She seems mature. But
that's what catches them off guard, because men know the difference between real and fake. And when you sit up here and exposed to thottery and whatnot, you got some older chick who knows how to play the role. She knows what you're missing, and she knows how, because she's been rejected enough times. Now she knows how to fake it. That's the real issue. Now the older chick, she in the late 30s, she knows what men don't like, which means now she knows how to fake being what they like until she gets you vulnerable. Then she's going to go for the kill. I'll let you have the last word.
And then one more thing to add on that, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't want to go too far into it. On the younger dudes, like they don't know no better, or his brain ain't fully developed at 21 years old. That's not always true. just say he was immature. No, he's not. No, ain't no 20-year-old stupid. But at the same time, when you're 21, you need to be accountable for everything. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna learn the hard way. So with a lot of chicks that's older and they try to renew themselves, the first thing they try to talk down on the young men who don't know no better. If the young man like myself who calls shit out, because fortunately, even though I'm 31, but I feel like I'm 41 or 42 because, you know, I was out there in the street. So I saw a lot, maneuver a lot, learned a lot, and used a lot of information to my advantage. So I think a lot of young dudes need to start using a lot of information to their advantage. What if it's a good information or bad information? Use that to their advantage. And
well, look, I mean, you know, you have a young man who wants to test his limits. That's what young men do. That's one thing. But if you allow the fact that you want to try to test your limits to take you into places where now you at high risk, that's not a product of being young. That's a product of being reckless.
Being stupid.
And you can be reckless at any age. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight, Dan. Never put yourself behind the 8-ball. Being young is no excuse for making decisions to put you behind the 8-ball. You just think, I got an NBA contract, so whatever happens, I'm protected. Or worse. Now, here's another aspect that could be even worse. Jalen might be telling himself the same thing that P.J. Washington was saying. These little young boys been watching these chicks on television since they were what? Adolescents? Damn! Do you all realize that? They've been watching these women on television since they were adolescents, been watching them on Instagram, been watching them, you know, online. P.J. Washington, did you all ever think about that? Hey, P.J. Washington was watching, oh goodness, can't believe I forgot that right now. Brittany Renner since he was an adolescent, or at least he had the ability to. And Jalen Green has had the ability to watch Draya now for years and years. So what I'm telling you is nostalgia got a hold of them. It might have a hold of them fellas like a son of a gun. You think Russell Wilson is in bad. You think Russell Wilson got it bad. Come on, fellas. You think about some of the chicks you saw on TV. When you turned 21 years old, if you had the chance to bag one of them, I'm telling y'all right now, I would be Jalen Green times 3 if Felicia Rashad gave me the time of day back in 1994.
Auntie, chill.
I'm just telling you right now, I would not be on YouTube. I'd be all the way caught up. I'd be just now getting out from up in all them kids and child support. If I had a shot with her back in the early 90s, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Early 90s, late 90s, we could have stretched it that far. Are you kidding me? Please. How many of y'all in the chat room, Stacy Dash, how many of you saw Clueless when you were in middle school or high school? Man, you the married Stacy Dash with 5 kids and wouldn't have thought twice about it. Come on now. There's a bunch of y'all know it. Apollonia. Halle Berry. Oh, when Halle Berry came first, bust out the gap, y'all. Come on now. Fellas. Halle Berry, circa 1997, 1998, 2000 even. There's a bunch, man, look here. You saw her when you were in high school. If she was available when you were 21 years old with 3 kids in tow, you'd have been sitting there pushing that damn 3-kid baby stroller down the street with the biggest smile on your face. You know it. Nia Long, y'all know the list. Come on. Under the right circumstances, hell yeah, you would have done it. You know it. If you, back then, how you felt back then and how you were moving back then at 21, please, you'd have took them off the market without thinking. You'd have taken them off the market without thinking. You'd have been like, I'll never get another chance to marry Halle Berry. I'll never get another chance to have kids with Halle Berry. I'm going for it. Damn what y'all niggas talking about. I'm there. When you think about it in those terms, does P.J. Washington look so crazy now? When you think about it in those terms, Jalen Green has certainly made a foolish move, but you kind of can understand the feeling. Let me go ahead and go over here to the telephone lines here. Let me get caller from area code 713. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is Tony in Houston.
Tony in Houston, what's on your mind, brother?
Well, this is my meat here. But you know, Jason, some of the brothers that are listening to you tonight, they really don't believe you. You know why? Because they think they cracked the code. They have a secret. Their girl, they've been with her for a few years. He treats them nice. She cooks him little meals. She doesn't argue with him. She agrees with everything he says. He does everything for her. So he's going to give it a try because he's going to be good to her. So he marries her. He gets a couple of children, maybe one or two. Got a high mortgage now. She's living in a nice home, high-ass condo he's renting, $2,000, $3,000 a month. He got a car in it. She has a car in her name. He's not controlling. She has freedom. She doesn't work, or if she does work, she keeps the money she earns and invests in herself. You take them to Disneyland. You're doing everything right. So you think you beat the odds. But one day you'll come home and Tanisha's not happy. And when Tanisha's not happy, that's the day that your life will change. And you don't know it yet, but for the next 15 years thereafter, you're going to go through hell every day. Hell. She's going to tell the judge that you treated her badly. You were controlling. You were abusive. You didn't do anything for her or the children. The lawyer that, her lawyer, the one that you're paying for, will tell the judge that you need to pay all of this, all of the lawyer's fees, child support, everything that you have worked for. You're going to lose, fellas. You know that vintage car you had been working on since you was 22, 2019? You're going to lose that car. It's gone. Your favorite baseball card collection that your uncle gave you when you're 16, it's gone. All of that will go. You'll be moving into an apartment on the rough side of town.
Brother, I mean, the thing is, when you're 21 years old, I mean, you remember what it was like for you and me. You're giving this woman dibs on your future earning at 21. I mean. Not at 31, 21. This is as bad as a 360 record deal.
Right. But they don't believe it, Jason. They don't believe it because the women told them they love them. You're the only one. I would never do that to you. That's what they believe.
And you got three niggas she been with before you, and that was a fluke. They was bad. It was their fault.
That's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They throw that in, of course. You're different. So I would never do that to you. But when they get hooked, then they'll find out exactly what happens. You're saving lives. You're saving men's lives, Jason. I feel for you fellas, but I just can't quite reach you from where I am. I appreciate it, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight here. We appreciate that, brother. In the chat room, brother said, I ended this marriage. That wasn't my goal. I hope that was not my intention to do that. I don't want to see you stay in a bad situation either, but I am the only guy who warns you all, hey, my program might end some marriages. It might. Because I might have you asking some questions you didn't ask before. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know this was in the mix. And then you find out it's like, oh boy, they'll look you in the eye and lie to you. I'll be damned. All right, let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. I've got Simeon over here on Zoom. He's connecting his audio. Oh boy, he's on the road. I hope this works out. All right, Simeon, what's on your mind?
Hi, B1. I spoke with you, man, a couple years ago, back in 2020 during the pandemic. At the time, I was a teacher right out of college. And currently right now, you might see my uniform on. I work for telecommunications because you advise that I go into IT. A few of your instructions I followed, a few of them maybe not so well. the topic of today being like the idea of concept of sexual discipline is something I've struggled with. When I first called in, I was one child in, and you told me move out, don't have any more kids, all these other things. I'm at 3 now, so that part of the equation I messed up on. But aside from that, 2 points that you had made that really stuck out to me was like, I really want to know, what is it? How do you know when they're playing you? Because you mentioned the idea about the business. I'm supporting my lady's business with her beauty supply, and I'm like, okay. You might have recalled that, me telling you that as well, but it was years ago. So you talk to a lot of people. I'm supporting her with that because I believe in it, and I want her to do well. I want her to succeed. Her success is my success, especially when it comes to our kids and our family. But I question it sometimes. When I listen to things like this, it's like, okay, am I putting like investing in my own demise? Is that kind of the idea, or
He could be. Okay, well, let's deal with some basics here first. First of all, how old are you now?
27.
Okay. What I do is I give you all some general guidelines, and I try to update these things as time goes on. I try to do that. So I do my best to update these things and update the general guidelines as time goes on. So I don't want you to get deceived about that. The guidelines that I'm giving you young fellas now is wait until at least your late 30s, if not your 40s, and until you're making $100,000 a year. Because after you've lived that many years and dealt with that many females, nobody's going to be able to pull anything over on you. You will have gotten rid of your naivete. The real problem is fellas are jumping off in relationships with females and making lifelong commitments, and you all are doing much better in many regards than your fathers and grandfathers did. So because of that, the situation, what can happen to you is radically different. So when you wait until you've had a number of relationships, then nobody can fool you. It's going to be very, very difficult to fool you. Very difficult. Because you will have seen it and done that. You will see just how dirty they can be. You can see how dirty folk will do you. And when you actually live it and understand, hey, this really can happen. This isn't just my speculation. This really will happen. They really will do something this dirty. That's when you're ready to start making decisions. Because you'll get to a point where you don't have to talk to a female for no 3 years. You talk to her for 3 minutes. And you know her whole life story because you've already met this woman 3 or 4 times in your life already. That's the advantage of giving it the years. The advantage of giving it the amount of money is because now you got something to lose. But you're now old enough to value what you have to lose. That's the difference. That's the difference. And a bunch of y'all are jumping off in this stuff and you're going by emotion and you're not understanding that your vision of this might be different from her vision. For example, did this chick have kids when you met her?
No.
She does now?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you two about the same age or is she older than you?
We're the same age. She's 4 months younger.
Okay. Well, like I say, I'm not going to speak on that one there too much, except to say, if she's got your kid, not your name, I'm wondering what part of your animal instincts is telling you something. I'm not saying to go off of that one way or the other, but I'm just saying, hey, fellas, if she's not worth your name, how did she become worth your bloodline? It's just, that's the thing I want to know. Teach me something.
Okay. Is that a rhetorical question or are you asking?
You know what? Let's just leave that a rhetorical question. But I'm just saying, fellas, I want you to be in a situation where you get to decide how things go and you get to choose how things go. I don't want you to be in a situation where other folks are making decisions for you. And once you get old enough, that won't be as much of a problem. But right now, especially when you're establishing yourself in the 21st century, back when the dollar was worth 15 times what it is today, yeah, you could move a little bit differently. But your dollar is worth 15 times less than your father's was. How do you pile on a bunch of kids and obligations under those circumstances? Not early on. Get yourself established first, and then decide if this is the person that you're with that you want to leverage that with. Ideally, that's what you would do.
Right, but now, when the position that I'm in today, because that obviously I can't go back.
How long? How long did you know her?
2016.
Okay.
And then we were, and 2018, I believe, that my first son was born.
Okay, you talking about the chick you're with now?
Yeah.
You met her in 2016, and she has a child in 2018.
I transferred to university 3 years in, so 2018 to 2019. 2019, I would say.
Okay.
I don't know my son's birth year. I'm sorry.
Okay, is that your last one though? Because you talking about you had another one or two since I talked to you.
Right.
Okay, so that's since 2018. Are you saying that this is the same female?
Yes.
Okay, so you've had 3 kids with the same female.
Yes.
You have known her going on a decade now.
Yes.
You are gleeful to have children with her, but you are not the least bit interested in marrying her.
I'm interested, but like you said, I don't know my faults, so I don't know if what
you knew your thoughts about getting her pregnant. You knew that.
I knew the risk of having sex with her. Yes.
Okay, you knew the thoughts of getting her pregnant, and clearly 3 times is not an accident. So, no, brother, you can't say you slipped and fell and that's an accident. So no. We're past accident territory now.
I slipped and fell two different
we are in willful intent territory now. So I'm just saying, dude, if you're gonna keep doing that kind of thing there, but you're not marrying her, I'm just like, okay, well, what is the point then? Why are we continuing to have a genetic obligation to somebody that we don't want to have a legal one to?
What's the benefit of it?
Well, the first benefit is that these are your legitimate children. The whole thing about marriage is that marriage today is not about business, folks. And listen to idiots who tell you it's a business. Marriage today is a litmus test. It tells us how serious you are about this person and whether or not she passes muster. Because you are putting your genetic legacy in her hands. If you've chosen correctly, she will give you strong, decisive sons and honorable, virtuous daughters. If you've chosen incorrectly, she will destroy your bloodline. Those are the stakes. And if I tell you how serious is your bloodline, you tell me it's worth everything. Then I ask you next, great, how serious are you about this woman that you are about to turn your bloodline over to? And I don't know about that. Really? Tell me more. Because you've given her everything. The reproductions of you, who look like you, carry your genetics, walking around this earth, she's in charge of that now. And she will be for the rest of your life. Now, if you don't have enough faith in her to give her your name, which is something you can reverse through a divorce, why are we giving these people our genetics, which can never be reversed? You all are out of order with which one is more important. Well, I don't want to get married because I can get cleaned out and divorced. You can go make more money. Even the divorce dudes is a hell of an inconvenience. You can make more money. You cannot take the kids back. Oh, hell, we messed up. Big mistake here. She's not the right one. She's not competent. She's not able. Yeah, you don't get a do-over there. You can always go make more money. Always. And I'm just saying, I just don't know what the rationale is that she ain't wife material. Understood. I got it. How is she wife material and simultaneous? How is she mother material but simultaneously is not wife material? How did she pass the motherhood test but fail the wife test? I don't understand.
The point you mentioned earlier about that feminine affection is probably what kind of got me. Like she was a virgin and all these other things when we first met. And I think that the reason why I was, in a relationship with her, I know, like you mentioned, to wait until you're older and things of that nature. That way I can develop into the man that I need to be for my kids and for my family. And this is just a person that I met on my way to trying to reach I know it's an unachievable goal, but to, you know what I mean, to climb the ladder and climb and develop as a man, and finding a woman of that caliber at that level, because I know I'm not there yet.
Okay, is she at that caliber and at that level?
No, not yet. And I don't know if yet will ever come. We never know, but that's kind of what I'm, for lack of a better term, placing my bets on. If those things are to happen, then we can seal the deal and make it official. But if I'm still elevating and she's stagnant, or there's things that are not evolving or changing within her that I'm needing to
What you're
change
telling
with
me is that you have doubts about her.
Yes.
Okay. Brother, 3 kids later? How's that work? Because I got to hit you with the other side of it here. For all the hoes and hood rats. Did he say hoes? I sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
For all the hoes and hood rats who don't like it when I take the women to task on things, by the way, they get eerily quiet and they get amnesia about parts like this. Brother, you knew what she was when you got with her. You certainly knew what she was after child number 1. You absolutely knew after child number 2. So what I'm saying is, okay, she ain't good enough, but she was good enough to get pregnant 3 times? I mean, fellas, I want you all to just start doing some logical deduction here. It's like, okay, we got doubts about her. Okay, but we don't have doubts about getting her pregnant 3 times? She was good enough for that. Now she's not good enough anymore. The reason why we used to have shotgun weddings is because males who tend to be mercurial, look it up, males who tend to be indecisive will sit up here and go get girls pregnant all over the damn place while he's making up his mind about how he, quote, feels. But he's making decisions that have nothing to do with feelings. Children are not a feeling. They're people. And we have shotgun weddings to say, yeah, you're done being indecisive. You have responsibilities now, not feelings. And that's the reason we handled it like that, because a fellow who is allowed to be as wandering as he wishes to be will spend the rest of his life in that cycle. He'll just be going in circles. Meanwhile, he's making permanent actions, but he's still walking in circles. Oh, I'm not sure what to do. Okay, then how were you sure that this was a good thing to do? So the real thing is, at this point right now, I got to tell you, dude, especially after almost a decade here, she's probably the one I need to be talking to be totally honest. But in your case, bro, you can't afford to be this indecisive. You can't afford that at 27 years old. Is she cheating on you?
No.
Okay. Is she a drug user?
No. She's still breastfeeding, but no.
No, I'm talking about her, sir. So she's not a drug user. She ain't running around cheating on you. Has she put on a bunch of weight?
No.
Okay.
But she can be a little slick at the mouth, and when some of her actions she commits to are not things that I agree with, and I just kind of have to take it.
But brother, okay, but slick at the mouth wasn't a big enough turn off to keep from getting her pregnant, not 1, not 2, but 3 times. So I'm questioning how bad or how offensive slick at the mouth is, because, okay, she's slick at the mouth, okay, but that didn't disqualify her from getting pregnant 3 times. So I hear you bringing that up, but obviously it wasn't that big of an issue. The truth of the matter is you are wrestling with, I can do better. The truth of the matter is that you're still telling yourself you can do better. Folks, he's telling himself he can do better, and let me explain to you why. Have you been to college, young man?
Yes.
There you go. Did you get your degree, young man?
Yes.
There you go. How about her?
Not yet.
There you go. This is the reverse black female. This is the reverse educated black female. He's with a female who he does not consider to be as educated, as capable, but he does like some of that gulliness. But when he looks in the mirror, he sees an educated person and he's got options. When he looks at her, he doesn't see the same thing. So these aspects that made her sexually attractive are things that he considers to be a liability intellectually, such as slick at the mouth. So and then there's the aspect of it right there. He considers himself to be above her. Now, I don't mean, you can just be quiet on that, sir. I'm looking at the facts. He considers himself to be that. So she should be lucky to be carrying his kids, which is why he didn't have a problem with that, because otherwise she's utilitarian. But the math works out when you say it like that. It's like, yeah, by the way, he's more educated. He considers himself to be more capable, competent, ambitious, and she's lacking in some of these areas here. And I've really just been waiting to see if she gonna catch up with me. Okay, but if you were that concerned about that, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant 3 times. So there's something that you are getting on a regular basis that is satisfactory. And being in the driver's seat of a relationship is it. You have no concerns or no worries whatsoever that you consider yourself to have more value. And he's telling himself he can do better. What he's really doing is waiting to hold out to see if a better option comes along. Because the children are not really something to be committal about necessarily. A marriage would be more difficult if he does meet the right person and he's stuck with kids and a marriage. He's holding out.
That's true.
He's holding out for a female that he considers to be more educated, more capable. Those other artifacts to the side, you've been dealing with that all this time.
But that doesn't mean I would want to abandon my responsibilities to that family. Like, you can't.
Okay, sir, your responsibilities to your children are a separate equation from your responsibilities to her. I'm not going by what you're saying to me, fella. I'm looking at what you're doing. And when I look at what is actually happening, when you see a male who is okie dokie with getting a chick pregnant, and yet he's stalling for almost a decade to marry her, there's something else. And what you've told yourself is you've continued your education and you don't feel like she's, quote, kept up with you. And now you're hoping whatever beauty supply, whatever she's doing, you're hoping that will help. But the bottom line is you don't see her the way you see yourself. Or let me say this more precisely. You don't see her as the type of woman that you really qualify for. He doesn't see her as that. She's cool people. She's a nice person. He doesn't think she's going to be a serial killer. But as far as if he's got to really cash in all them chips, it's like, oh, let me fall back. Well, I had the one kid with her when I was young and didn't really have nothing. So once we get 2 or 3 in, it's like, ain't they really just duplicating the first one? Actually, no, it's not, but okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. That's the way he sees that. But now he's like, life is starting to come together for me and I'm starting to have some options and things. And yeah, I mean, if I shackle myself to her legally, I could be missing out on a better option. Yeah. Not so sure I want to do that. So let me just hold back and maybe if she changes. Fellas, she's 27 years old. How much more changing you think she's going to do?
My belief is that maybe she doesn't value me as much, and that's why some of those gaps are missing. So, like if I'm not coming home to a cooked meal, and I voice that problem, it may not mean much today, but like you said, in a couple of years or where I see myself going, that's something that I would expect. Or
okay,
that's
brother,
just an
with
example.
3 kids and almost a decade in, the cooked meals thing is supposed to be a past tense issue. If it isn't, once again, so why is she getting more kids out the deal if cooked meals are still an issue? Clearly, she's doing something that is a sufficient enough offset that wasn't a deal breaker for you. That's the point. Now you want to yell that it's a deal breaker. It wasn't a deal breaker 24 months ago. And she was doing it then. So whatever she did that balanced that equation out, very clearly you value that more. So every relationship is a trade-off. So whatever it is that she did to compensate for not cooking all the time you want, clearly you value that more. You're willing to give her a pass for this other because she's doing some things that are not deal breakers. And clearly that part there is not a deal breaker. You're willing to give it a pass. As long as she's doing some other things, you're willing to give it a pass. So I'm a firm believer in grown men being grown men. I'm a firm believer in that. I don't know what it is you think is still waiting for you out there in them streets, but I will tell you one thing. What is waiting for an upgrade is not looking for an indecisive fella who's willing to do those kind of things. That college educated, slim down lawyer chick you thinking about, you might want to go have a conversation with one of them and see what they think, what they aspire to, not what you tell yourself they do. You might want to actually go have a conversation with one and ask and pick her brain to see what she likes. Because I have the feeling you're telling yourself one thing, and what happens is they tend to be book smart and street dumb. That's that reverse black female thing. They tend to be book smart but street dumb. And then they tell themselves they're real good for talking about men and analyzing it, but they're terrible at execution. Awful at execution. Because men are not a classroom. So I don't know what it is you think is out here in these streets that you craving or looking for or whatever. I don't think that's a great idea. I do not. Especially going a decade in the game. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to say this succinctly. I've heard what you've had to say. I don't think she's the problem. That does not mean that I think that she is right about everything or she is correct or that she has no flaws and no issues. That is not what I said, and that's not what I mean. What I mean is that as the man, you're supposed to be leading. Well, you've been leading for the last decade. This is the product of your leadership. The relationship and situationship y'all got today, this is your leadership at work. This is you. You call these shots. You can't blame the young man you were 8 years ago. You can't blame him. We 8 years down the road now. You can't blame that naive young fella anymore. We can't blame your mama. When you get to a certain point in life, hey, dude, I don't care what home environment you came from. It's on you now. It is on you. I don't care if your mother was the nicest woman in church or the worst chick at the whole house. It's on you now. The decisions you make, this is you, not her. This is you. You made this bed. You built this. You kept going back. You've been going back. You accepted her as what she was. Now you want her to change. She's good enough to get pregnant 3 times, and we won't even count miscarriages, but you want her to be a different person. Wait a minute. He ain't saying this after 8 months. He's saying this after 8 years. No. That's not where the issue is. Or at least that's not where the determining factor is. You got everything you wanted. This was what you aimed for. This is what you got. You're the captain of the ship. You steered this. 3 times getting pregnant, that's not accidental. The real thing is you are having what we call discontent. There will always be discontent about something. You have told me that this woman is not cheating on you. She is not causing all kinds of havoc. She ain't racking up STDs. She ain't got you getting into fistfights with random dudes. Sometimes she's slick at the mouth with me. Every woman is slick at the mouth. The real issue is whether or not she's slick at the mouth in public. That might be a different matter. I never tell people to break up their relationships, ever. Unless somebody is doing something to the children. I never tell people break up their relationships or their marriages. Jason, what if she's chasing me around the house with a butcher knife? You might want to move across the street. You might want to get you a place across the street. I'm still not going to tell you to break up with her. But you might want to move. But in any case, what I've heard here so far, yeah, bro, you've been indecisive. You need to sit down and have a conversation with you. Let me tell you one more thing. Females get slick at the mouth with a fella who's indecisive. They get tired of seeing a fella here who never knows what he wants, never chooses a solid direction, isn't certain about it. Brother, she's probably really ticked off because you ain't married her. Damn! Have you considered that, young man? Yeah, I wonder why she would be upset after 8 years. You done plugged her with 3 kids and you ain't married her. Jason, she's slick at the mouth and you slick at life. 8 years now. 8 years. I wonder why she would be holding an attitude. I wonder why. Well, Jason, it's working for me. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But yeah, after 8 years of this going around in circles, yeah, I wonder why she would be hostile and testy. I wonder why.
People always say marrying a woman is not going to sit here and change all of that.
Okay, bro, you've been getting her pregnant all over the damn place. Now all of a sudden you Mr. Insightful, you're Sigmund Freud now?
No, but
now he's Sigmund Freud. See, that ain't gonna change nothing. Okay. And getting her pregnant doesn't change anything either, right?
No.
Brother, just take a look at your track record over the last 8 years. I'm pretty sure you will see an indecisive fella, a fella who's had difficulty settling on decisions. He has not been Mr. Reliable. She been sitting there waiting for you to change. Now, guess what? He's sitting here telling us he's waiting for her to change.
I have been decisive, though, in some respects.
Congratulations. You want a cookie?
But like, what?
You haven't been decisive about what her place in your life is. I have told every single female that I have ever been with, I ain't getting married. You looking for a fella looking to marry you? Move on down the road. But that ain't me. I can't see myself getting married. Not really interested. Could it happen one day? Well, I guess according to Einstein's theory of special relativity, I suppose it could happen. But then again, according to the theory of special relativity, you could throw a ball in the air and it doesn't come back down. So I guess according to that, yeah, I could get married one day. But yeah, you sitting around waiting on that to happen, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sit around waiting for me to change on that. I'm just straight up with it from day one. You can't find a single female who can truthfully tell you that she, quote, wasted time with me. I told her from the gap, this is what it is, and I never changed. Now, if she just ignored it and heard what she wanted to hear, okay, that ain't on me. I told her what it was. I ain't never got a chick pregnant. Meanwhile, over at your house, and he's like, well, can I do all this stuff here and can I get a pass for the rest? I'm like, okay, dude, come on now. 3 kids later, and her social status is exactly where it was. It'd be different if it were 8 years later and she wasn't carrying these kids. It's 8 years later and 3 kids. That's damn near 1 kid for every 2 years. And he's telling us he can do better and he's not sure and he's wondering what else. So, bruh, take a look at your actions.
All right. So what do I need to be doing from this day forward?
The first thing is you need to lay down some hardcore, firm rules, and then you need to live by them, which is what you have not been doing. Your children see you living with a woman. They don't know what the married life is. They have no idea. None. Y'all been playing house for 8 years. Congratulations. That's wonderful. You got kids watching it now. Think about the example you're giving. Because by the way, are any of those children girls?
Yes, one of them.
Oh, good. I'm sure you can't wait for her to take up with a fella like yourself who will leave her after 8 years with 3 kids and no ring. I'm certain that you would have no problem with meeting that gentleman one day. Now, would you?
I would.
You've seen your daughter go from 20 years old to 28 years old. Every other year you see her belly is big as hell. This dude is out there. You overheard him telling one of his homeboys, I'm not really sure about her. And she coming to you with the 3rd kid. As her father, you'd be apoplectic. Look it up. As her father, you'd be extremely upset. If that was your daughter doing the exact same thing you got going on. And if the old boy came up to you, you're like, hey, let me take you to the side, partner. Yeah. About all these kids and everything going on here. My daughter's 28 years old. I mean, what we doing? What we doing? Well, old boys, I ain't so sure. And, it's just, she be slick at the mouth with me sometimes. Now, if that was another guy saying that to you about your daughter after she's 8 years and 3 kids in, what would you say to him?
The same things you're telling me.
You need to make some concrete decisions about her, about the example you're setting for your children, about what is going to be and what it isn't. If she's got some issues there, what you need to do is either sit down with her and your parents or whatever the case may be and iron that the hell out. That these the rules. But you ain't got no leverage if everything's going to look the same way it does now. Where's her incentive to change anything if everything's going to stay the way it is now?
So in what order do I do that? Like, I understand the only leverage I have in this case is to marry her.
No, that's not your only leverage, sir. Your leverage is being a man. That is your leverage at everything. Your leverage is being a man. You have not had a definitive conversation here about the things that you are unhappy about. But the other thing here is why should she care? If you've already got her at max benefits, why should she care? Jason, she being disrespectful. 3 kids and no marriage is not disrespectful? While she's sitting here telling herself, well, I got a black male. He ain't got a criminal record. He's supposedly educated. He's not gay. He's not running around with a bunch of chicks. And she's like, okay, and what do I have to show for it? Only got 3 kids. And no commitment. Then she starts, these are questions that males don't ask themselves. You've never been pregnant. So you never ask yourself, by the way, what makes me different from the other chicks out here who are pregnant by 3 dudes? How is she pregnant? How is she any different from the chicks who are pregnant by 3 different dudes simply because she's been pregnant 3 times by you? How is she any different? These are the things that women don't say to us. They just sit there and stew on it until finally one day they go off the damn deep end about it. But these are unspoken assumptions. Now, it's not great that they are unspoken assumptions, but by the way, dude, this all could have been avoided. So no, I can understand why there would be some issues there, but her attitude was not so objectionable that you didn't think it was worth 3 kids, which means that you do see it, you can work that out. He's got that going on, plus he's telling himself as time goes on, I can do better. And what I'm saying is, yeah, you might be able to do different. I just wonder if you're going to go to the next female carrying the same mannerisms and behaviors that you brought to the last one. I just wonder if that's what's going to happen. You need to sit down with her and have a conversation with her about the things that are a roadblock to you marrying her. Right. You need to have that conversation with her and your parents and her parents.
All together at once?
I don't give a damn if it's one by one, but you need to have that conversation with everybody. These are the reasons I have not done that. Not no damn therapist or nobody else. You take it to the people who are involved. You talk to her right in front of her and preferably in front of y'all's parents. So you get this out of the way. Yeah, I haven't had kids with her and stuff. And this is what has prevented me from marrying her. And then she's going to tell them what is preventing her from talking to you the way you want her to. Because there's going to be 2 sides to that story. So when you say that, she's going to let them know why she be talking to you crazy sometimes. Yeah, she's going to let them know that too. And it will probably make sense. I've warned you young fellas, it's a good thing we're talking about Jalen Green and Draya Michelle here, because when I was his age, I had females her age I was dealing with. And I told him I'm not trying to get married. And I told y'all I was a young fella when that chick told me, oh, it's okay. We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to have nothing serious. Lying ass. 6 months later, she told me everything I do with her is so great and wonderful. And why in the world should we split up? And we should be thinking about, okay, a female wants that. I don't give a damn what she told you. She wants that. Okay, it is what it is. My recommendation to you is you need to go sit with your parents and hers, and y'all need to put this out on the damn table about why it is that where she is and where she at. Because if you tell her father or her mother, if she's just got a single mom, that this is as far as y'all are going, let's see how well that goes over.
Can I add one minor piece of detail? You might already know what it is, but I just want to throw this in there because it's kind of important in regards to her parents and stuff of that nature. I tried to take a different approach and use a term like a non-legal marriage, like calling her my wife and identifying her as that in front of her mom and everything.
Alrighty then.
I just had to throw that in there because I needed to know if that's even, I know it's probably not appropriate hearing that response, but.
Brother, you got 3 kids. What the hell you think you're protecting yourself from? What in the hell do you think you're protecting yourself from at this point?
All that divorce inconvenience, all of that stuff. Why even deal with it? If I can just, by my words, say that I've got this woman and this family and I'll take care of them and do whatever I can to be there for them and just stick to my word, what do I need a legally binding contract for?
Of course. Why in the world would we actually want your word to be enforced by anything? That makes perfect sense to me. Why would you want your word to be enforced by anything? By the way, he's bypassing the whole explanation I gave him before about the children and the bloodlines thing, by the way. This is not your connection to her. This is your connection to them. But furthermore, by the way, yeah, your word is worth what, sir? These fellas are fantasizing about imaginary wealth. He's done had children with this woman now. 3 kids. Yeah, but marriage would really be risky. He's given her access to his family's bloodline, but he's telling us that marriage is risky. And we've already determined you can end a marriage. Alimony is not a lifetime commitment, people. It really, really isn't. The real issue is, have you worked out already what needs to be done in that regard? Jason, you told them to wait until they're in their late 30s. Yeah, but this nigga got 3 kids already. He's starting from here.
I don't know. I haven't done enough research to know what all of marriage entails, but my idea was that I was trying to acquire my own assets and my own, properties and getting my career in order, making the 6 figures and owning all that property in my name before getting married and getting the property jointly and having to deal with all those things in a potential divorce, as opposed to getting a prenup and knowing what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. And I can decide how much I want to.
Sir, you're already on the hook for child support. What the hell are you talking about?
That's fine. That's just what income.
Okay, so he's not worried about child support income. He's worried about other income. So he's I don't want to be behind the 8 ball. You got 3 kids behind the 8 ball. Yeah, but I could really be stuck with some. Really?
If I figured if I'm making a significant amount of money, that child support is going to eventually just become chump change, if it ever even comes to that.
But you're already in that barrel now. She could pull the trigger on that any day.
Yeah.
You're fantasizing that you got, that's what I'm saying. He thinks he's above her. So what he's telling himself is, I got her locked down and under control where that is. So he is confirming what I was telling you all the entire time. He feels he's in a dominant position. He feels he got it under control. He's trying to preserve that. To which I'm saying, well, you certainly can. And just understand, nothing will change. I stand by what I said. Whatever you want to tell them, whether you want to sit up here and have a handshake marriage or not, go and verbalize that to her in front of her parents, and then at least it'll be out there on the table and everybody can make their decisions about what they're going to do.
Okay.
I'd like to hear back from you in 90 days.
90 days. Can I give you another 4 years?
You can. That's up to you. Might as well make it an even dozen.
Okay, 90 days.
Thank you for giving us a call here. Did I call it or did I call it? Did I call it or did I call it? Was that exactly what it was or was it something else? It's exactly what it was. Let me jump over here to the telephone lines. Let me get caller from area code 214. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Last try, caller from area code 214. You're on live with the business. Okay. Caller from 214 has been abducted. Caller from area code 646. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Up and out, Long Island.
All right, up and out Long Island. What's on your mind?
Jason, thank you. I love that phone call with the brother. You really seemed to me that he just needs someone to talk to help get him all the way right. I feel sorry for the kids because as you were talking about, giving them all information and trying to give them a little direction, it appeared to me that there's no love for his kids there, like, and maybe it is because he doesn't love his own situation. But I feel really sorry for those kids, and I just thank you for giving him some really good advice and leaving the door open for him to come back and to have some extra help. I'm out of here. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm a father, 3 sons, and a guy that has done a lot and through like all kind of adversities, and I know what it is, and building your family name and having your sons and daughters achieving more than you and better than you, and leaving a mark on the world and to everyone around them.
Well, that's certainly your goal, but having a more structured situation, that's really makes it a lot easier. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Jason, why would you sit up here with the marriage thing? Because that's your legacy. And what I'm saying is that if this woman failed the litmus test of giving yourself 100% to, then how in the world did she end up with 100% of your genetics? That's a hell of a thing when you're like, well, I don't know about marrying her. Meanwhile, she's raising your kids. What? So she is in charge of making your sons act like you or not. Yeah, but I ain't really sure about the way this attitude, the way she... Really? So now you're uncertain. And what I'm saying is that team reflects leadership. Team reflects leadership, and if the leadership is shaky and wobbly and indecisive and unreliable, here comes the team. Caller from area code 561, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Travis calling from Delray out of Palm Beach County.
All right, Travis out of Delray, what's on your mind?
I'm just tuning in late right now. I like how your broadcast is going. I'm tuning in late. As the guy was talking before who was married, all I can say is, like, I feel like it'd be cheaper to be in love with your wife and be loyal to her. You'll save more money instead of going the route of child support and trying to fight her in legal fees and stuff like that. But me, right now, I don't have no kids, and I'm very decisive right now about, marriage.
Well, that's the whole point of being a man there, is that you make these decisions, on your terms. That's the whole thing, because you have more to lose than she does. Understood. So how you handle that is like anything else. I'll make these decisions on my own terms. Okay, well, just make sure you haven't robbed yourself of the ability to make that decision. Jason, I'm trying to save some money because I don't want to get run through the courts. You got 3 kids. Dude, you already there. Talking about you don't want to get run through the courts. Yeah. Bro, you're already there. They have a court for what you did. Well, yeah, I wanted to get even more on there. 8 years later. So, fellas, just understand, you're sending messages to females when you're indecisive. Just like men can keep sleeping with a female when they're not happy with her anymore, and females can keep sleeping with you when they're not happy with you anymore. If she doesn't have a better option, and if she doesn't have a better alternative, yeah, she can sure do that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. Let me go ahead and see if we can get our caller up here on Zoom. We are waiting, boys. She done ironed the hell out of that hair. All right, I think that's Kia. I think it is, not to be confused with the Korean automaker. All right, what's on your mind?
I just wanted to say that I realize that this conversation has been going on social media about Draya. And I just wanted to quickly say that while there are maybe not as many, there are some women who are like myself and feel like what she's doing is just straight predatory behavior. But I will be honest and say I was shocked by how many women seemed like it wasn't like they were defending her, but it seemed like they felt like what she was doing was okay. And they were
condoning it.
Yeah, and I kept hearing them comparing her to older men like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jay-Z, and saying like, oh well, we
Okay,
don't shame them when they're
but
having, which is not
Leo,
true.
but Leo ain't marrying anybody or getting anybody pregnant. Jay-Z married Beyonce, and we 10 years or so down the road, 10, 20 years down the road, however many years it's been. So that's not even remotely close to the same thing. So they're just making hood rat arguments.
Exactly. And even aside from the things that you mentioned, I have seen people publicly shame Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship because of when they met, as well as Leonardo DiCaprio. So I just couldn't understand why there were so many excuses, I guess, being made for her, because to me, it's very clearly what it is. She was not able to, I guess, catch anybody that's successful or in her circle that's closer to her age anymore, kind of because of the things you were talking about earlier. Like she has surpassed that point where she can have access to those men. So it's clear that she wanted to go after somebody that
This is like a female moving to a new city. This is like a female getting up, leaving DC and moving to Kansas. She's going someplace where these folk here don't know her rep. She been running around the damn NFL. So that means in the world of professional sports, they got her rep. Now right. She chose a young fellow. He just got in. So the cats that she was dealing with, she got a kid who's 8 years old. So, I mean, you take a look at that right there. Dude would have been like 13 years old. He would have been 13 when she was giving birth to her last son with her fiance. So with that being the case, that's light years from where Jalen Green is today. He has no contact with any of the people who could let him know what the real deal is on her. There's nobody in that locker room who's going to be like, yeah, I had that. Or it's very unlikely. So that's the reason for her doing that.
Like, where is his family? He don't have sisters or aunties or anybody that cares about him that could have been like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I just, for me, whenever these situations happen, I assume that there's some kind of support, typically
no,
when
look,
you have
I don't talk about professional athletes. I talk to professional athletes. And for the most part, their families are just thrilled if they make it to the league, and they're just hoping they don't blow out their ACL or MCL.
Okay.
So you basically become like a racehorse, and everybody is just betting on you to basically run as far as you can before you drop. And that's even your family, your mama, and everybody else. That's literally what it is. Consider this. I don't know what his contract is, but if he's in the NBA, it's obviously millions of dollars. Baby, right. that's more money than his parents have seen in their whole lifetimes.
Yes, but even still, in terms of self-preservation, if I had a son in that position, I would be extremely into what he's doing as much as possible. And if I even
that's a nice little fantasy you just had there. This boy, he's part of a multi-billion-dollar franchise that is on the road. He probably don't even talk to his parents anymore like that. So how much influence can you have on a young man who's on the road half the year? So this isn't your little 16-year-old that you were driving to the high school basketball games. He got his own car. He got planes. He doesn't have to even talk to you anymore.
Oh, hold on. My my ring light just went out. No, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't understand. Like, at some point, I'm sure they met Draya. And so you can just Google her. You can quickly find out. No.
I would be surprised if they actually met her.
Really?
I would be surprised if his parents actually met her. I would be surprised if PJ Washington's parents ever met Britney. I'd be surprised if they did. So, no, I'm not going to assume they did. I would actually be surprised if they did. I'd be surprised. Because at the very least, it probably would have slowed things down, maybe. Because you can see this chick from a mile away.
Exactly. So yours, well, I mean, obviously, I guess it's obvious and apparent that no, they probably didn't even know he was even dealing with her, let alone.
They may have found out when we did. Because I'm saying, take a look at how fast this all moved. Right. Your son is out there on the road. He's meeting a bunch of chicks to begin with. Now he's met this one here, and ain't no reason to really talk about it. She starts taking up megatons of his time. Next thing you know, she pregnant, and the parents, well, we heard in the tabloids you was dating her. Now she pregnant. Oh man, that moved quick. Well, don't worry, I got this. It's under control. I got an NBA contract. I can pay for everything. I can take care of my responsibilities. Your responsibility is about to take care of you.
I guess for me, as someone who is a parent and who understands how women are and how women in that position tend to behave, like once they've gotten to the point where they no longer have access to, I guess, like you said, like she's not going back to a Honda, like they no longer have access to the men that they prefer. But I guess, like you're saying, if his family wasn't even aware that he was dealing with her, there's no one to warn him. There's no one to try to steer him away. There's no one to even tell him, like what you tell guys, which I disagree with. If you want to mess with them, don't get them pregnant. I just think you should just flee those type of women altogether. I think if you can tell this young lady is basically the type that will have check babies, like mush her in the face out the way, like get away from me. That's how I would be.
Look, I mean, an older fellow would be able to handle that better, which is why she's not talking to an older dude. She's talking to a young cat who doesn't know anything, hasn't been anywhere, hasn't experienced anything, because an older fellow would be able to handle that a lot better. Draya is side chick material. She is not baby mama material. She's damn sure not wife material. Her life has explained and articulated what she is. She's side chick material. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Be the best side chick you can be, Draya. You're not wife material. Stay in your lane. And for him to deal with her in that capacity, that's a cool little side chick to have. If she's gotten old enough to a point now where she realizes she can't afford to be a disciplinary problem anymore because she's out of options, that's what will put her back where she needs to be and put her under some management. That's where she needs to be. Problem, a 21-year-old ain't equipped to handle a side chick. That's the problem. A 21-year-old getting a record deal is a young man's game, and having a side chick is a mature man's game. That's not a young fella's game. Being a kept woman is a young woman's game, and being a partner is an older woman's game. So in this situation here, he bypassed that altogether, most likely because she put the pressure on him. That's the way that happens. They grab you and then start trying to race you down the damn aisle or into some sort of permanent situation. If he won't marry me, let me go ahead and get pregnant, and then hopefully that'll get him closer to the altar so I can get everything. So he never saw it coming. He never saw it. A woman at 40, just understand all the highs and lows that she's had with other men. Dude, she's thinking payback. She has no mercy. She's get him before he gets me. Well, Jason, why would she think that? He's as young as her son. Yeah, what makes you think that's a good thing? When she takes a look at her son, do you think she sees her son, or do you think she sees the man that got her pregnant? Her, quote, ex-fiance, that means he never married her.
Right.
Now, I don't know how that broke down, but what I do know is she's never been married now. 2 kids, never been married, about to have a third one. Yeah, you better believe, Jalen, she's going to get you before you get her. And she's like, okay, yeah, he may be 21, but soon he'll be 24.
Right.
And he'll be more mature, and he'll start to come into his own and his own thoughts. And it's only a matter of time before he starts acting like the rest of you. That what the rest of you know, he'll start acting like it. So I got to get him before he gets me.
Yeah, but I think it's also what you were saying earlier. We were listening to you on our way home from the gym, where you mentioned that her femininity and her, because she's older, she has the knowledge to kind of know what men like and don't like. So she's able to basically posture as this feminine, warm, maternal character. And I think that in itself, when I was hearing you describe it, it just actually literally physically made me sick. Like literally playing off of those needs and desires in a young man, the same way an older man would play off of it in a younger woman, searching for a father figure, someone who is decisive, who has wisdom. All of these things, to me, it's very clearly predatory. But I guess when so many women have to date in a predatory manner, that's why I saw so many of them acting like what she's doing was perfectly fine, or like it's not a big deal, or why are we talking about it? And I'm just like, because this is literally disgusting. Like, for someone to be so shameless, to just have no sense of, and the fact that she's having a girl.
The situation is too fragile. It's too perilous. It's just too damn treacherous today. Draya Michelle is not trying to go back to working for anybody. She's still trying to be that it girl. And right now, they're pulling out all the stops to grab whatever is available. And now you're just seeing the very ugly side of it. It's a very ugly thing, but we just witnessed this very thing happen with Brittany Renner. And there were a bunch of hoes, I said hoes,
and deal with it, nigga,
who are out there saying, oh, y'all don't know what's going on. And of course, that went down exactly the way we said it would, because there's only one way it could go down. And now you're looking at this one. It's just going to be the next one. And when he looks up and realizes it didn't go that way, or more likely what will happen is, and you all can, I'm calling it now. You ain't heard nobody else say this, and don't say anybody could have guessed it. No, you dumb flum mouth nigga. Nobody could have guessed this. I'm the only one who said it. She's racing him down the aisle. We're going to hurry up and do that because you can only be fake for a certain amount of time. That's why I tell fellas, you give a chick 3 years, she can't be fake for 3 years. She can be fake for 6 months. She can't be fake for 6 years. The real thing is going to come out. So if he's only giving it about a year or less than a year, and she's already got the baby, soon as she drops the load, look for her attitude toward him to change, just like Brittany did. Once she got the baby, she's like, you know, I really got you behind the 8-ball, dude, and I really don't have to act like I'm nice anymore, and I don't have to pretend anymore. I've actually got some power now. So wait till she drops the load, and then look for the real thing to start coming out. And when she lays that hot sauce on him, that's when he's going to start changing his attitude. But for right now, she's been able to fake it and pretend what she is, and he's been going along with it like a duck. My prediction, when she drops the load, the fangs come out. Then he's going to be putting up Instagram posts. These hoes ain't loyal. They treat you bad. You be a good man to a woman and she don't do right by you. Just watch for that, PJ Washington Part 2. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think that, I'm sorry, God forgive me for laughing. I just think it's honestly tragic and it's sad. And I just wanted to highlight the point that while there are a lot of women like myself, I did see them online trying to just speak on it and just be like, this is like, we don't condone this as women. There were far more women who thought that this was perfectly fine behavior, and they're both grown and it's okay, and we should be celebrating her pregnancy, and just I don't know. I just wanted to let that be known on your broadcast. A woman did come on here and say that this is nasty and unacceptable, but that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. I mean, look, this is the way of the 21st century, folks. There's a lot of bags out there, and there are a lot of folks telling themselves they're entitled to it, and if they can strip you of it or get it however they live, that's it. Draya Michelle has absolutely no illusions whatsoever about riding off into the sunset with nobody. She's just trying to secure her declining years now. That's it. She's just trying to secure her declining years. And if we can grab a few more babies with a few more bags attached, let's go ahead and get that. Watch your backs, fellas. Watch your backs. Call from area code 832. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Jason Black? This is Lance from Houston, Texas.
All right, Lance from Houston. What's on your mind?
Man, you're really running through all the points like that. You know what I'm saying? You just got off the phone with the lady or whatever. See, I'm not going to blame Draya at all. I blame the dude. Like you say, he grown now. But from what I see, because I'm from out here in Houston, I see how these guys moving and stuff like that. This is the same dude painting his fingernails. He was dry humping his partner. You know what I'm saying? Wearing all that fashion stuff. So that let me know right there. He really already been kind of game goofy anyway. You see what I'm saying? So for this to happen to him, man, it just he a sucker that got caught up. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he met a
feel
female
about
who made him feel like an actual man. So she just played. She saw he was goofy. She saw he was silly. She saw he was immature, and she actually made him feel like a heterosexual male for a few moments, and he's been sprung ever since. But what she's not gonna do is bring him to the next level where he starts being a leader. Now that she's not gonna do because then he'll no longer be under control, which is the one thing that she can't afford to have happen.
Yes, sir. And then the crazy part, you said it right with the lady before I came on. You told him after that baby drop, man, that boy gonna live. He gonna be feeling like he living in hell, man. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, she has an incentive to pretend for now, but we all know how the math goes on this. As soon as she drops the load, it's like, hey, bruh, she had a goal. She had a goal, man, and she played the role until she got what she needed. Now, what she wants is a ring, but what she needs is something to lock you down with. And her emotions going to get the better of her. And she's going to show you the same thing she showed the last 2 or 3 guys. And you going to be number 4, and you going to be singing the same song. No wonder the last 3 or 4 fellas responded the way they did. No wonder they did.
Crazy, right?
Well, I mean, what's crazy is to be 21 years old and have walked off into this. That's the crazy part. 21 years old, looking at all these other NBA players around you since you were a kid and just rolling the dice. It's just, hey, you know, look, P.T. Barnum said it, you know, there's a sucker born every minute. And it just is what it is. So all we can do is just sit back and be a cautionary tale to the other fellas, hey, there's a way to stay out of this. I do not blame him for wanting to lay up with Draya Michelle. Do what you do. Do what you do. But make sure you do like Leo DiCaprio and the rest of the smart ones. Just make sure you can get up and leave. Like, okay, you can go ahead and have that. Have your fun. That was amusing. Have you given yourself the ability to just cut it off and get up and leave? Now you stuck. Now you in a relationship. Okay. I'll let you have the last word.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like I say, you really now got all the points out the way, but this is going to show even the young dudes and everybody else out here, hey, man, you got to think of yourself as more. You feel me? Hey, you 21, you the same age as her son. Come on, man, do the math. And you making millions of dollars. Bro, you supposed to just see, like you said, have your fun with it. It ain't no problem. But, man, you got to think about, hey, I'm the man. I'm the prize. I'm the one getting this. You gotta have more confidence in yourself and see the signs before they even get to you. You see what I mean? But yeah, man, you know, that's it. I don't really got nothing else to say. But y'all guys, y'all get y'all game up, man. This was too easy to see. But there you go right there. We just gotta see how it go from here. And I'm a Houston Rockets fan, so I think it's like, damn, it's gonna fuck his game up.
Bruh, I'm just saying, with her messing with his head and things like that, or either that or he's going to become a wage slave. He just got to get out there and play because, she got him behind the 8 ball. Because in her case, she's going to go for the jugular on him. She going to go for the jugular.
And, hey, before...
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Recognize game. Folks, I mean, let me just go ahead and just say it straight. If all you want is sex, let it be sex. Let it just stop there. If that's your priority, if that's what you want, fellas, have some damn discipline and some damn self-restraint. If all you want is sex, let it be that. If all you're looking for, if that's your priority, you need to know what your priorities are. If that's what your priority is, leave it there. Stop it there. Cut it off there and let it be what it's going to be. She going to go for it. Draya Michelle was going to go for it anyway. There's the damn travesty of it. It's not a damn thing he's going to get from her, getting her pregnant or marrying her, that he can't get from her already right now without doing that. That's the difference. That's why PJ Washington was so damn stupid. There was nothing he was trying to get from Brittany Renner by getting her pregnant or marrying her that he wasn't already getting. All he did was up here and terminally train wreck his situation. That's all he did. Let me go ahead and check over here on Zoom. Okay, we had Daniel on Zoom. For whatever reason here, Daniel, probably want to take the rest of the night off if you're having issues there. Let me go ahead and try one more time here. We got Curtis on Zoom. Go ahead and turn on your camera and your audio for me. By the way here, folks, one word of caution here. If that doesn't get taken care of, permanent vacation. So, Curtis, we're going to give you 5 seconds here to go ahead and get that on. If you don't, permanent vacation. That's the only reason why you get on Zoom. It looks like Curtis is not interested in being on Zoom. So, that's it for Curtis and Daniel. Let's get caller from area code 630. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Nick from Chicago by way of Houston.
Nick from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Yeah, dealing with the women out here, the comment that you always say about the Chicago women and me being around different places is pretty much true. They kind of telegraph everything beforehand. If they're about to scam you, with the exception of people just being really devious, they'll literally, I have no idea why, will tell you before they're about to scam you. So, yeah, I love the Chicago women, and if it's women that's not like that out there, it just doesn't feel like it's at home. But getting on to the topic tonight, yeah, these women and the time that you said that they pressure the young guy, I had someone pressure me. They were maybe 16 years older than me and pressured me into having sex with them. And within 24 hours, now she was trying to tell me not to wear protection, all this other stuff, all things would be good. Within 24 hours, I swear. And this would be somebody I never would have done anything with anyway. Within 24 hours, I was 21. She said, hey, I'm pregnant. You got my kids. You're going to have my kids. We got to go down here. She's trying to pressure that. She was just so goofy about it. She didn't wait a little while by getting pregnant with someone else. She just said within 24 hours, went across the job that I was at and told everybody there. So some of the women really do just be trying to lay on different things, but she used the pressure approach. Whatever they do to these NBA players over and over, I don't know what's going on, but maybe it's something like that. That happened once, and it will never happen again with me, including women saying, oh, yeah, I know that you deal with multiple women, but you don't have to wear anything with me. You don't have to do this thing with me. Oh, I'll never do that to you. I didn't heard that so many times. I heard that from my guy friends, women telling them that. I was like, look, don't ever believe that at all. When you get serious and you getting ready to marry somebody, that's one thing, and you should be married first. But if it's not that, then don't do anything stupid.
Well, look, the bottom line is men, we're supposed to be in control. We're supposed to have discipline. We're supposed to know exactly what it is. Females can feel things. We're supposed to know things. Once again, if what you want to do is lay up with old girl, I ain't mad at you. I'm not upset about that at all. PJ Washington. Hell, if I had a chance to be with Brittany Renner like that, I'd turn off this microphone right now and leave all y'all right here. I probably wouldn't even click in stream. And there's nothing wrong with that. Probably the same thing for Draya Michelle. She's not exactly my cup of tea in that regard, but I'm just saying, dude, we can go down the list. The real problem is, hey, bruh, why is your priority not living to fight another day? So the only thing in this case, I think I can rack it up to, nostalgia. They've been watching these chicks on Instagram or whatever, and she played that role on them, which an older guy would know, don't fall for that. She didn't demand that these other fellas give her $100 million lifestyle. She didn't demand that of them. So why do you have to do it? You don't. But she's trying to hit you up as quick as she can to make it seem like she's in control before you have a chance to think. So she told him she got to have $100 million life, and he's taking no time to find out if that's really what the price is. None whatsoever. Now he's going to find out what the price is the hard way. And this is a hell of a way to find out.
Yep.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller code 305. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
TVA, what's good? B1, it's your boy One Love out of Miami.
One Love out of Miami. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, man, first and foremost, looking forward to the 8 a.m. I got all the rest of them, man. I donated as well. But I just appreciate you trying to game up the younger generation. Game check game, and lanes don't recognize they lane. And the game check game is the Drayas, the Brittany Reynolds, because they could see these lanes. The perfect example is the dude you were talking to on Zoom. After all that game you gave him about 20 minutes worth of game, and he ended up being like number 250 to ask you after all of that. So what do I need to do? How do I know if they playing with me? That's the lanes don't recognize that they lanes. And that's why they keep getting done like that. You know, then the little chick who hit you up on Zoom a little while ago, trying to say, well, where's his family? Well, where's this? They don't understand. TBA, I'm about to be 45. Back when we was, 19, 21, 22, man, you couldn't wait till you got that age so you could be grown. So if anybody tells you something, you're not going to listen to it because you're going to you want to be able to make your own decision. So my thing was, the biggest fear in the world to me, the biggest fear wasn't being shot growing up on the streets of Miami, wasn't going to jail. My biggest fear was a baby mama. That's why I've been married going on 13 years, and my oldest son is 10. So with all that indecisiveness old boy was having, and he didn't understand why he was in that situation, that's why. Game goofy, lame. And I just
it goes a little bit further than that, One Love. With you and me being older and stuff like that, I mean, my God, think about it in those regards, but we the old niggas on the couch now. But
right.
You know, the real thing is about having the life you want on your own terms as a man and finding out if that's what you really want. Because here's the thing. If the way she's talking to you is really an issue, I mean, if it really is a deal breaker, when you got the ability to pick up your things and leave, and you ain't got no kids, no marriage, or anything else tying you physically to her, you have the ability to decide if that's the right decision. You don't have these external factors weighing on you, pushing you back over there because, well, I have more to consider than just the way she's talking to me. I got more to consider than that. Mm-hmm. When you don't have the kids and all the other binding things, you can actually determine if that really was a zero tolerance event or if it's something that you can bypass. It's harder to do that when you have these other pressures weighing on you. So it's hard to, you've been married, so you know it's sometimes you drive each other nuts, but it's not a situation that warrants getting divorced. Well, that's harder to do if you two haven't even gotten married because you're still telling yourself, well, I can just get up and leave. Whereas in a marriage situation, you'd probably be understanding that it's not that serious or that there's different ways of dealing with this. So it's hard. That's the reason for not jumping into this with kids first and all these obligations. Now you can make a decision whether or not their behavior really is something that you at your core cannot deal with and can't tolerate, as opposed to having those other factors. Let me tell you, you got kids with somebody and whatnot. It either brings y'all together or it makes it a lot harder to be there.
Man, perfect segue into the last thing I wanted to bring up. And that's about making a decision. You know, speaking to the youth, you know, whether you're a male or a female, I have plenty of, I mentor youth for years, but I got plenty of dudes that call me and ask me. And I told them I retired from the advice game a long time ago, but I give you perspective. And I always tell them, write down a list. Sounds corny, but it's very effective. Write down a list of pros and cons. 10 of the pros. If you can't come up with 10, don't even worry about it. Go, should I marry or should I do this? Hey, here it is. I can't make a decision for you. You come up with 10 pros. Write the 10 cons. Any and everybody, TBA, can deal with somebody's pros. Can you deal with that person's cons? If they are a liar, and that's one of the cons, can you deal with a liar? If they're flirtatious, can you deal with somebody who's flirtatious? Are they bad with money? If you say, okay, I'm all right with that, Then you also got the 10 pros. Then you all can make a life together. But if there's something on that list that you can't deal with, that's what it is. But you go in the mirror. Go in the mirror, because you can lie to everybody else. Hard to lie to yourself. Go in the mirror, ask those questions out loud, and answer yourself in that mirror while you're looking in your eyes, and you can't turn away, and you can't laugh. If you laugh or turn away on any of those answers, you know you can't even lie to yourself. So I appreciate you trying to game these.
Well, you know
up,
what?
man.
I would give you a slightly different test in that regard. It runs kind of parallel to what you just said. I would just give you a slightly more streamlined metric on that. Before you tell yourself that this woman is worth marrying or even having children with, tell me 5 things that she does for you that are worth you paying for the rest of your life, and sex can't be one of them. Other than sex, name 5 things that this woman does for you that are worth paying for the rest of your life, but you can't name sex. So what else she got?
Wow.
And then you're going to hear a whole bunch of fellas start hemming and hawing and talking in psychobabble circles. That's usually what will occur.
Yeah. And I'm coming from firsthand experience with this, TBA, because you said it while I was on the line waiting about a record deal. I had a record deal in 2003, and I'm 24 years old at the time. Even when I was 17 and up and coming, man, forget cougars hunting me. I was a cougar hunter. But those women, them older women, 30, 34 years old, they grab hold of you. It ain't nothing what that little chick was talking about. Oh, you should mush them kind of girls in the face. Man, that's a badge of honor. You got an older woman.
Oh, yeah.
All over you like that. And by the multitudes, man. And they trying to grab hold to you because of, the future of that.
No, dude, you're a young man. You're a young man dealing with females who got their own Lexus, they got their own car, they got their own handbags, they got their own credit cards, they pay for stuff for you. How the hell you gonna be 21 years old fooling with a 21-year-old college student girl who still get money from her parents? And you got a chick who's 35, 40 years old, and she paying for stuff for you. Is you kidding me? Please, get this little college.
Exactly.
I'm mushing the little college girl. That's who I'm mushing right there. Get out the way. Draya Michelle sitting over there under those circumstances. So, like I say, when that kind of situation happens, I know I've been there. I've seen that. You're not going to turn it down, especially if you got nostalgia involved. The only thing is I'm saying I was there and I didn't get nobody pregnant. Now, there's the difference. Right. By the way, I was there. I was that young man, and I didn't get anybody pregnant either.
And you said some real stuff about that femininity, man. When you dealing with them little young chicks, man, and everybody hot in their ass and got all that attitude, and the older woman cooking for you. You come over to her house. You can do whatever you want. And she actually treating you with some respect and like a man, whether it's, got ulterior motives or not. That's something that you was lacking, in your own world. That holds a greater value than any of that other stuff when you're that age. You know what I mean? 21, 22.
Make sure you know your priorities and make sure you know when you're overpaying. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. One love. Know your priorities, fellas, and know when you are overpaying. Call America code 504. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is G from New Orleans.
G from New Orleans. What's on your mind?
All right, brother. Great broadcast. Congratulations on 8 a.m. as well. Can't wait. I'll try and be brief with my comment, but I'll get straight to the point. The saddest part about the situation with Brother Green is not just the fact that he just gave this cougar a license to print money with his seed. The saddest part is that they're about to have a daughter. And you know good and well, Jason, when this relationship doesn't work out, she's going to raise the child just like how she came up and her daughter and teach her the game. And then there's going to be another kid that's going to be a predator, that's going to be taken advantage of. That's the downside to this. And young brothers especially who have money coming up where you're blessed. I mean, it's very hard, Jason, to make it into the NFL to the NBA at that. I believe the average term a player stays in the league at best on average is like 4 years. So you have someone who is making hundreds of millions of dollars with a new contract, and now you've given it to somebody who's not your wife. You've made her carry your seed, and it's clear, especially where the position is going and what's going to happen to her. Because once she's done with him, he's going to be the one that's asked out.
Well, I mean, if she has the ability to put him on the hook, like, Nia Long got Ime Udoka, if you got the ability to do that, $35,000, $50,000 a month, child support, that would be easy for her to get. That would be easy for her to drag down. Easy. And right now, he's not thinking very much of it. I'm like, okay, that's going to be bothering the hell out of you in 12, 24 months. That's going to be bothering the hell. Once he starts cashing, because I think folks were saying that he's getting like rookie money right now. So if he does get a big, when it's time for him to get that big contract and he sees how much he actually doesn't get because of taxes, how much you got to give your agent. By the way, for those of you who don't know, when you're going to deal with sports, and we deal with this in my film also, but in sports, you got to give part of that, a percentage of that goes to your agent. For those of you who don't know, in professional sports, your agent gets a percentage of those contracts, and that includes Russell Wilson.
Right.
So if you get a $100 million contract, your agent could get $10 million. And that's going to be pre-tax money. Pre-tax. He ain't waiting until you pay Uncle Sam. It's like, I get my lick with Uncle Sam. I get mine with his. No. You got to break me off that 10. So I get a percent, whatever the team hand you, I get a percentage of that, not a percentage of what is left over because of your tax situation. I get a percentage of that. So when you add all the taxes and agents and fees and entourage and everything else right there, even if you got $100 million, don't be surprised if he only ends up with half of that at best. At that point, when he realizes, oh, hell, yeah, $50,000 a month is going to start getting your undivided attention. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you factor that in. You also got lawyers and stuff like that. If you don't invest your money, like Jamal Mashburn, who played for the Hornets here in New Orleans, he did wise, where after he retired, he started to invest like in fast food restaurants and so forth. Or you do like Shaq, where Shaq owns like 100 Papa John. Those guys invest in this money, and younger folks I'm seeing are not doing that. But Draya Michelle knew the game, and she came on to a kid, and here's the thing. He wasn't thinking, Jason. He was thinking his dick was doing all the thinking for him. He thought with that head, not with his head and his brain. And that's what's happening with a lot of the younger athletes. And I wish they would learn from, go back to the 80s. Look what happened with Mike Tyson. Look what happened to Shawn Kemp in the 90s. The examples are there. History repeats itself when people fail to learn from its mistakes. And, I get that he's probably in love with the woman being how young he is, but he thinks that way. But just in a few years when things will go south. And I hate to say that, but it's just the way it looks.
Well, hopefully how he finishes is better than how he started. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And like I say, I don't wish ill on any of these fellas, not even Russell Wilson. I'm just giving you the weather forecast. I'm just reporting the news. And when you see situations like this happening and coming, I want the fellas out there to understand you don't have to be an NBA player today, fellas. I'm just telling you right now, if you're a fella making over six figures, watch out. Certainly, if you're making over 250, you're in the same boat with the rest of these cats for the most part. She ain't never gonna meet another fella knocking it down like that. Never. So they are applying heavy pressure. Chicks out here are trying to see what it's like to plant their butt cheeks in a Bentley before they die, and to get a couple of Chanel bags that they didn't have to foot the bill for. They trying to figure out how to get that to pop off. And you become the means to an end. So a lot of you college-educated fellas out here, my working professionals and whatnot, it's a candy store, dude. It's a candy store. I'm not going to lie to you, man. It's a candy store out here. If you're a fella who got his bag right and his swag right and you got your priorities together and you've been on your grind and stuff is coming, man, it's a candy store out here, dude. No doubt. It is a candy store. Okay, but guess what? There's a bunch of folk out here who would like for you to give them some free candy. Not even discount. They want you to go ahead and just drop it off, period. So I'm just trying to do my best to advise you here. Hey, fellas, there's pretty much anything that you can get around unless you start getting folk pregnant and start getting them married, because now when the state gets involved, you're giving them leverage. You're giving them leverage. And that chick will be sitting there disrespecting you and giving you problems and everything else. But if she feel like she got the state to back her up, you're going to see the bad side of Sears. I recommend you pay attention, but then again, that is totally up to you. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Following up with the announcement that I made last Friday, for those of you who may have missed Friday's program, just to go ahead and give you a quick reminder on that here. Because of my increasing obligations as far as finishing my documentary film, you know, it's been a while since I had to do that. And back then when I did my last film, I wasn't, you know, doing 2 days a week and broadcasting all these days a week. So we're going to be doing a drawdown in the number of days that I'm broadcasting on. So here on The Business, I'm looking at going back to just doing 1 day a week here on The Business. I have not decided if it will be Monday or Friday yet. I may see about putting up a poll just to get you all's input to it. That won't necessarily decide what I do, but I may put up a poll to let you all know what my disposition is on it, to find out you all's input on it. So definitely be looking for that to happen here. After the film is over, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll take it day by day after that. But in the meantime, I'm looking at going back to 1 day a week here on The Business. But hey, you know, you always get quality from it every time I show up, and that will never change. If you are new here to The Business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button, click that yellow notification bell, join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every weekend, 12 noon Central Time. You're definitely invited to join us there. For those who are on my Patreon, you know they got a special offer this week, by the way. For those of you who are there, so you understand what's going on, you have the option of doing that as well. Probably going to do that on a seniority basis too, by the way, but we'll check and see how that goes here. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here by PayPal, Venmo. Thank you very much for your support. I want to thank all of you for tuning in live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.